stuff with Comicsgate and Ripaverse, which is really just Comicsgate 2.0 kind of shit. Like, how them being at war with each other, this feud and whatnot, how indie comics is having a civil war. Keep seeing that. Indie comics is tearing itself apart. And that just like, wow, man, that fucking throws me for a loop every time I see something like that, because I've said it before. Comicsgate, Ripaverse, all those people could be Thanos snapped from existence tomorrow. Indie comics wouldn't even notice, except that they, maybe their timelines in social media would be a little bit less hostile. That's it.
I am Gary Nerderotic, and I used to sell methamphetamine to kids, but now I sell false narratives based on bigotry, funded by sinister dark money, all by using nerdy things like Marvel and Star Wars. Honestly, the meth was probably overall less harmful to society.
I wish I could quit. Or just die.
I eat farts yummy.
I know what Glenn Beck's butthole looks like.
I would like to ask a question. Why do you want me to call you a Kit Kat? You're clearly not a Kit Kat or this Zimzer, Bimber, Ginga, Genghis Khan. I think for the most part, if they were hit with sodium pentanol and they had to give a correct answer, an honest answer, a lot of it would be 99.9% of the time, I'm seeking attention.
I am the internal monologue of Az, aka heel versus babyface, aka the silverback. I am the fat one. But I'm also the dumb one in the fandom menace. It is curious that I never use any part of my real name online. But also I can't even decide which fake name to stick with. Yet here I am, being a right prick about someone's nickname in a video, desperately trying to hide the fact that I don't have a personality. What a fucking useless sack of shit I am.
Nerderotic dot.
Get out of here! It's all about me. Scamly! Hit like and subscribe. I have to go clean up another Saska sister's mess in the kitchen. Goodbye. Don't talk about my dwindling sales, please.
You know, I could talk about why I don't like anti-fandom, but I'd rather talk about why I like the term anti-fandom, because I think it's a really good term. Anti-fandom, this movement, isn't about fandom or the media. It's about power, it's about brotherhood and ganging up. It's about feeling like you know some big secret, like you're the little guy taking on the big, shadowy, leftist, woke powers. At the end of the day, it's make-believe, it's playing pretend for adults, or, you know, man-children. Despite what any of them say, it isn't about fandom. It's contrary to the definition of fandom, which is basically liking things together as a community. The end result of all this is just a vortex of hate and misery, and it's all revolving around this missing center where the media or the community or the liking should be, and it just isn't.
Oh, she's so, it's the stunning and brave. Oh my god.
Welcome to every video we make. We use one little thing and then we build the narrative out of it.
Other people
besides white dudes, like Star Wars. I'm just saying, we need to be conscious of our bias.
I talked about this one thing and we make a whole video out of it. That's what we do.
Weird.
You are the real superhero.
Well, I'm built like a goddamn brick.
Is he some sort of masochist?
Yeah, what is the most recent Japanese film or at least entertainment that you enjoyed so far?
What am I thinking of? See, a lot of them would be older ones, like Old Boy, for example. I really enjoyed that one. I know it's not Japanese, but yeah, probably stuff like that. You know, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, I really like that. I know it's like Chinese, I think. But yeah, like it's.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Force cannon sight.
Yeah, some characters have been written decently that are of different races and have suited up in the suit of a hero or a version of that hero. One of the more obvious is Miles Morales as Spider-Man. Miles Morales has his own background. This is far better than just simply making Peter Parker a black guy.
Talking about Peter Darker.
But Miles is an exception, make no mistake. I define everybody that's not Peter Parker as an unoriginal Peter Parker. And it will always be preferable to have another character with his own unique skill set, unique art.
In your face, bitch!
It's just shocking.
And the same goes with Miles Morales. He is indeed, again, Miles Morales. He's also a Spider-Man.
I really dislike the fake geek thing and the poser nerd thing. That's not what we're about.
Like, I don't get offended by shit.
Every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can
Jeremy has disavowed the Phantom Menace, but he's still in the same circle of people. They're still all on Friday Night Tights together. He's still saying the same stuff. So what is really the practical purpose of disavowing the Phantom Menace if like nothing is actually changing about what he's doing?
Oh, the reason that he gives is that apparently he saw too much like extremism within like the Phantom Menace among like things that fans were saying, and he didn't want to be like held responsible for any of that. He said, I'll be responsible for geeks and gamers, but not that.
If I was part of something that I was like suddenly like, wow, this is getting kind of more hostile and harmful than I really care for, rather than just go, I don't claim this label anymore, I would completely disconnect from the people that are associated with that label, because otherwise it would just seem kind of hollow.
The Fandom Initiative is a group of people on a mission to counter anti-woke sentiment on YouTube.
Surprise, you fuckers.
We are passionate fans of film, TV, comics, and video games. We'd love to make YouTube videos about the things we enjoy, but the culture of YouTube fandom makes this impossible, thanks to certain networks and clusters of content creators who depend on outrage, deception, and harassment to drive clicks and bring in revenue. The YouTube algorithm pushes harmful content to fans who are at risk of indoctrination by consuming repetitive right-wing rage bait videos.
Damn, dude. Yes.
Some people would like to think that like you can be like 100% objective when watching something, like remove your bias and just critique it like the truth. You can't.
So like, what is fucking bringing all these guys together other than like, I'm mad at fucking Brie Larson?
What? If I can't be a misogynist to you, I don't know what to do with you.
I oftentimes get called a shit.
Fuck it, man. Don't be worried about that shit.
But here's the thing. My picture is not on the wall in the lobby of Marvel Studios.
More and more people are fed up with that toxic content and culture.
Honestly, it makes us sound really cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa! What's that? Oh, that's a shit.
It's a shit.
Why don't
Clearly.
you subscribe to it?
Clearly, it's a shit. It's just me on the initiative today. Welcome. I'm kind of pissed off, guys. I'll be honest. Look, I was told that we had casting for the Fantastic Four. And then I go to look and see who was cast. And look, I don't even see Spider-Man or Gray Hulk, Mr. Fix-It, rather, I guess. I don't see Ghost Rider. I saw Wolverine, but he was in a different trailer for a different movie. They got the Fantastic Four all fucked up. Okay? All right, yeah, just kidding. Welcome. Bob should be here pretty soon. He's on a very important mission, guys. And it actually has to do with our one of our news stories of today. And I'll wait till he gets here. Whoop. Uh-oh. Freaking camera already causing problems. Is Herbie played by Bill Hader? Is that right? I didn't see that part. If that's true, that's fucking perfect. Oh no, he's not played by Bill Hader. Okay, yeah. That's kind of lame. It does seem like that's the way to go, right? I think Bill Hader's kind of in that point of his career when he's like, I want to do not just goofy roles anymore or something. Because like Barry was such a great show or something. Whatever. It was. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think he's kind of trying a little hard to be, right for the team, I think. No, but the casting is great. I think it's great. I think it's fan-fucking-tastic, as I put in the thumbnail. In fact, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Merry Christmas, lizards. Sounds like we got a real problem out here. Any of you incel, QAnon, 4chan, Snyder Cut motherfuckers want to get on a line now? Anybody? Yeah.
Didn't think so. For anybody that's not aware, that's been a part of my intro for my streams for a couple of years now, since I saw the first episode of The Bear and was like, holy shit. that guy, that quote needs to be just part of my thing from now on. And by the way, if you haven't seen The Bear, watch The Bear. Like, it is unlike really any other show, but in all the best ways. And I'm somebody who used to work in restaurants and stuff, so I kind of have that attachment to the material. There's a lot of very accurate depictions of people working in restaurants, like very, very accurate. Like, you can tell people worked in a restaurant when they wrote that. But it's also just like interesting how the show is, despite being constantly gripping and engaging, there's not really anything like the central focus is always the restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like there's the restaurant and then they go, that shows their lives outside of it and stuff like that. But like, just so much of the episode is dedicated to like the minutia of getting the dinner rush ready for the dinner rush and shit like that. And like, getting run for the first season, getting second season too. Like, just getting the restaurant prepared for opening and getting all fixed up. And, then there's like the characters and their family circumstances and drama and stuff that behind that obviously motivates the characters. But holy shit, it's good. Somebody's told me that they think that Feige did that today just because he was like, I can't let people focus on Madam Web too much. Oh yeah, critically sober, huh? Scottish intervention, dude. That would honestly be like, are you doing that? Are you doing like a counter character, right? Like, that would be great. Like a character that's like the critical, not drunk. I don't know. And he like actually just listens, like he listens to what the critical drinker says, and then he kind of explains in a similar voice, except not drunk, and not bigoted. Why he's wrong. That'd be fucking great. Okay. I mean, all right. I guess Michael Cera's got to get work somehow these days. That's mean. There's nothing wrong with Michael Cera. So I played the wrong intro, guys. I played the wrong freaking beginning thing. I had this other thing that I was going to play. Hopefully kill some time until Bob shows up. By the way, no turf today. Turf tomorrow. We are doing a second show this week. That's right. We're doing a second show tomorrow. It'll be an hour earlier than, 2 hours earlier than now. So at 11 a.m. Pacific time, it'll be, what is that, 2 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of shilling. I think tomorrow will probably be like a little bit more conversational, maybe. Like today, we're kind of looking at news stories and stuff, and I'm sure we'll talk about some of that again with Turf tomorrow. But yeah, I think me and Turf also talked about doing maybe watching a video, like a longer thing of maybe one or maybe two content creators that we really haven't covered before. Okay. Okay. So you have a YouTube channel or what? I've got some pretty interesting imagery that I've made for Critical Drinker. If you'd like to, you can have any of that you want, free of charge. Get in touch with me. But yeah, I had this other thing to play in the meantime while we wait for Bob. It's really only a couple of minutes, but a year ago today, a very special thing happened. Dude, you can't keep narking on him like this. We're trying to keep the law off his ass. Like, no, but yeah, so yeah, a year ago today, Organized Chaos and I, we went on a double date. It didn't go so great, but we expected that. We were invited to have a Valentine's debate with Sitch and Adam. And it's pretty interesting how that all came about. You might have seen it when it happened. You might have seen it on their channel since then. You might have seen them. They did some memes about it or whatever. That's fine. We never did release it was on Bob's channel. I didn't stream it to my channel because it was last minute kind of for me. But I have been kind of wanting to make some content of it for this whole time, and I started to. And I think tomorrow I'll have a lot more ready to show you. But there was some really fucking interesting stuff said. First of all, Sitch, for the most part, was a pretty chill guy. I think I probably would have enjoyed having a conversation with Sitch as much as I disagree with him and think that he, kind of has some silly views on stuff. Well, no, I mean it wasn't last minute, really, on Bob's part. So here, I'll tell you how it went down. Adams showed up on our stream a couple of times while we were doing, early-ish on in the initiative. And he would show up and he would say some stuff kind of doing his friendly trolling thing that he does, where he's not saying anything hostile really or shitty. He's just kind of we were talking about Nerdrotic one night and he shows up and he's like, "Oh, I like Nerdrotic. He's cool." And it's and we start saying, "Oh, really?" The thing is, though, I don't think Adam at the time knew that I knew who he was, and that if he really thought about it or remembered, he would have known who I was too. Because very early on in my channel, after the first video I made about Ethan Van Sciver, I think it was the first one, Adam Friended was in my comment section. And he was asking me, I think he was just asking me to come on and talk about stuff or whatever. And I was like, this is interesting that this guy shows up. I'm like nobody. I had a few hundred subs. Adam Friended is who we're talking about. Eric will be on eventually, I think. It's just that he's working a lot right now and he's got a lot going on and it's unclear what time he'll be here. Look, we're trying. That's why I pushed it back. The stream was supposed to start an hour ago and I pushed it back, and then I pushed it back because I said the other day that trying to organize YouTubers to be on in the same place at the same time across time zones and shit, they should replace the term herding cats. Instead of saying, "Oh, it's trying to herd cats," it's like trying to herd YouTubers. But we do what we can. Okay, so Adam Friend was in my comment section, and I didn't know who he was at the time, but I had a friend, his channel is called One Species, goes by the name Greek because he is Greek. But he's been doing YouTube quite a while and, in the political spaces and stuff, and he had been on Adam and Sitch's before. And something told me to reach out to him whenever I realized that this Adam Friended guy that's in my comment section, this was like early 2020 maybe. Um, and I said, "Hey, what's up with this Adam Friendly guy? He like seems like somebody that people know who he is." He's like, "Oh yeah." He said, "You should be proud of yourself." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Because if he's in your comment section, that means you're getting the attention of the people that you're criticizing." I was like, "Oh, okay." Um, I mean, I appreciate that. We look, if you haven't seen our video on the Critical Drinker, I suggest watching it. But I mean, I'm not going to be able to read and respond to like all of your explainers in the chat, so I'm sorry about that. But definitely, if you haven't seen our Drinker's Message videos, it's in 3 parts on my channel. It's in 1 part on Turf Nation's channel. You should check it out. Anyway, so and so I knew at that point I was like, oh, okay, so this Adam guy, he kind of goes around and he presents himself as like a centrist, right? He's not. He's not on the right. He's not on the left. He's anti woke, but he's not on the right. Um, he goes around and like basically plays defense. He runs defense for people that are criticizing people like Ethan Van Sciver, which is what the case was in that example, and then other, all the chuds, all the chuds that are, connected to Infowars now. Um, and so I knew about that pretty early on, and I kind of told him to fuck off or whatever. He also like I went over to Twitter and he said something to me, and I called him out on being running defense for chuds, and he literally called his audience to come fucking bombard my channel by not doing it. You know what I mean? Like he tweeted, he was like, "Hey everybody, whatever you do, don't go to this guy's channel and like, blah 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 blah." It's like, okay, thanks, fucker. Yeah, he's being manipulative. He does that. Anyway, so fast forward a couple of years, 3 years almost, and I basically forgot about Adam Friended at that point. And then he shows up in chat, and then it's on Bob's channel though, and he was speaking directly to Bob, and he was like, "Hey, Organized Chaos, do you want to come on?" And he didn't present it as a debate originally at all. He said, "Come on and talk with us. We'll watch a video. We'll react to a video." And Bob said, "Okay, sure, yeah, we'll see about that." And then off stream, I was like, "Bob, you got to understand about this guy. He is not being honest. He's not being sincere." Um, and I told him about what happened with one species, my friend Greek. Similar thing. Except Greek didn't know any better back whenever it happened to him. So Adam and Sitch invited him onto their stream to watch a video, right? And they get on there and they're watching a video. But the thing is they've chosen the video, whatever video it is, they've chosen it specifically because it's going to give them an opportunity to ambush their guest. Then it's a debate. So it's a surprise debate on their guest, right? So that's what they were doing with Bob. And so they were telling Bob, "Hey, we should watch a video, like maybe watch a video about Fight Club." Very specific. Bob's like, "Sure, okay." And I'm telling him, like they're not going to want to watch a video for very long. They're finding some way that they can kind of like spring a fucking surprise debate on you basically. And they're going to steamroll you and shit, so just be ready. And so they wanted him to bring, I guess, a partner to debate with him or talk with him or whatever. And originally it was supposed to be Pop Counterculture, Ed. But Ed having, a lovely partner and girlfriend, I think they're just girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, but partner, we'll say that. Don't want to downplay anything. She seems like a lovely person. They had plans because it was Valentine's Day that Adam wanted to do it. And so turned to me and I was like, "Sure, I'll do it." The reason I wasn't going to do it originally is because I have a real fucking hard time hiding it when I know somebody's a shithead. When I know somebody is like bad faith, when I know that they're just like a dishonest fucking, dickhead or whatever, like I don't have a great poker face. I just my disdain comes through very clearly. So anyway, I said, "Okay, let's do this." We knew going into it that one of our big challenges was going to be me containing myself and like trying not to like just go off on this dude. Until the time was right. We did agree that like, okay, at a certain point, I'm going to be able to just say what I think to him. And that point should become, obvious to both of us. So Yeah, it's really weird because the same thing, exact thing happened with us, and I'll get to that. So, yeah, so we go on there, and the thing was is that I had changed my channel name since that original encounter with Adam. Though I don't think he knew who I was. I changed basically all my branding. I used to wear the the helmet. Nobody knew what my face looked like for a while and shit like that. That was when he originally encountered me. Then the next thing you know, fast forward a couple of years, and I'm streaming. My channel name is different. Here's my face. You know what I mean? I don't think he knew who I was, or he might not have tried this old fucking tactic with Bob. So we go onto the channel, and we're right out of the gate, like before they even started the live stream. It was kind of like, oh, you fucking assholes. But then it's basically as soon as they did start it, it got even worse. Like Adam is the worst, man. He really is the fucking worst. He's a piece of shit. Anyway, but here is just a couple of minutes from the debate. We've talked a lot about. Basically, they had seen I guess some videos of mine or Bob's mainly that where he criticized Phantom Menace guys, talking about the MCU. And so they wanted to talk to us about the MCU and how I don't know how woke it is or whatever.
Maybe She-Hulk's a better example. You guys see it very clearly as the writers saying, She-Hulk is wrong to say this line about she doesn't need to learn to control her anger because of, being a woman and blah, 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 blah.
I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it because if I don't, I will get called emotional or might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
And the show's going to prove it wrong, where I don't see it that way. I think when they wrote that line, they literally believe that line.
The first part I think is true.
Well, what does that?
Critically sober. I got to ask you to just stop doing what you're doing, man. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about, and you're kind of like, if you want to make content and talk about this stuff, do it. And I'm, if I can help in some way, I'm happy to do it. But like, please don't show up to our live stream and just start spamming chat with some analysis or whatever. You don't need to convince me or really anybody else here probably that Critical Drinker is at the very least not a very good reviewer. Go watch our videos. Like I said, if you haven't seen those, you definitely don't need to be here like preaching to me, okay? Because we've done a pretty fucking thorough analysis of Critical Drinker, and you probably could learn something from it, honestly. But nonetheless, you could be the smartest guy in the world, and I don't want you in my chat just like spamming your analysis of Critical Drinker and stuff like that. Right. Well, I mean, it gets yeah.
That matter because the show is literally like the part of her arc is that she was wrong. So what does it matter?
I mean, he's neither of those, Dietrich. He's someone who has a problem with Critical Drinker, and that's fine. That's good. But it's all good, man. It's all good. I appreciate the enthusiasm. I really do.
Matter what a writer.
I don't think that was really part of her arc. I mean, I wouldn't classify.
So this is where the core of where it became like, wait, what? Sitch says we were pointing out how like in that first episode when she says that stuff, it was pretty clear to me and to Bob too, and I'm sure a lot of you watching that like, okay, this is setting up that later in the season she's gonna have a Hulk out and it's gonna suck. You know what I mean? Like basically that she's not saying she's perfect with her anger and then it's just gonna show that that's true the entire season. That's fucking ridiculous to think that, honestly. It was hubris. It was fucking her being overconfident about something that she learned a big fucking lesson on. By the end of the season, she hulked out, as what's happening in this scene that's showing right now, in public and destroyed a fucking building basically in front of a bunch of people. And she lost her job. And she, I think, went to jail and got on, I think, probation or whatever, parole. a lot of consequences. And she learned, like, okay, maybe I don't have this shit under control as much as I thought of. I should have, and I should have listened to my cousin, Bruce, who's a dude, which the whole core of their argument is that basically the MCU makes dudes look weak and effeminate and you know they're wrong or whatever. And you know, it's fucking stupid. Like it's just tiny dick energy shit. Yeah.
Maybe we have a difference of how we look at arcs.
And that's why I said, but man, it's an arc. It's like, yeah, if you judge it just based on that one thing, then but that's really stupid because it follows up on that later as part of her character arc. And he goes, I don't agree that that's part of her character arc. How the fuck do you not agree? That it's like it's just clearly is, right? Well, he says that that's not how he defines character arc. So what I did in this edit is I put the definition of character arc on the screen, and yeah.
I would define arcs generally as like it has to span the entirety of the season. This is like the problem that the character is dealing with.
So he says that it's the problem that the character is dealing with. No, that's the plot. That's part of the plot, man. I mean, you know, I'm sure Sitch has moved on to fucking saying dumb shit to other people by now, but like, he's not watching this. But, you know, in the event that he does see this, maybe he'll learn that you're describing part of the plot, the problem, the challenges that the character deals with in the plot that affects the character arc. Yes, but those are not the same thing. Okay, like the character arc is just the comparison of the character at the beginning of the story versus the end, and then analyzing how whatever happened in that story affected that character and created that change, right? Like this is pretty basic shit. Yeah, and it's something that spans all season, and it's like it does span all season. Like just because it's not literally addressed in every episode that she's so cocky about her anger or whatever, like he's just applying these weird fucking you know, arbitrary metrics to what it means. And you know, and he failed. Of course, to their audience, it doesn't matter. They're all pretty media literate, I guess, and you know, they think they won. But yeah, we were 2 for 2 really on the so before this one they brought up WandaVision. And when I have a clip of that we've shown a couple of times where he was saying that, you know, once again that all of the guys, all the men in that show were shown as weak and effeminate and goofy or whatever, and they're bad guys, and it's like it's not even true, you know, if you count Vision, which maybe you shouldn't because he's a android, but really, you know, he's a man. There was, you know, there's and same thing with She-Hulk. They act like there was no positive males in the show, and there were. That's true. Yeah, that's exactly right. Because he talks about his disability every episode, and it's a problem that he deals with. That's his character arc. Yeah. Yeah, we're hyped. Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting on Bob to show up hopefully pretty soon, and we'll hype it even more. But basically it's insane, dude. It's insane. Like these guys don't present themselves as chuds either, but they are. Like never mind. I'm gonna hold off on that. Yeah, Bruce was a positive male. Matt Murdock was a positive male. The other dude that was her friend, he was good dude, right? Most of them were, yeah. But they don't see that, man. Like once a woman says something, and Wong, yes, Wong, but they don't see that's the thing. Wong, he's not a white guy, so he doesn't even get considered. I don't know if that's really what it is, but like I kind of feel like that there's something to that like you know, Wong just kind of gets overlooked, right? Yeah, the casting is great. I'm hyped. Like there, and somebody had predicted this exact casting. I don't know if maybe they heard they got a leak or something like that, but yeah. Yep, literally a dude who was like a shithead and actually assaulted her. And then later on in the season, he's like, "Yeah, man, I've grown and worked on myself and stuff." And it's like they don't see that as positive male, representation either, because a man should never have to self-reflect. A man should never have to grow or change or adapt in any way, shape, or form to this world. The world should fucking bend to the man's whim. That's the way the world works. Anyway.
Where with her, I mean, she really only had some anger problem in like literally the second to last episode.
Well, the problems that she dealt with were different. Were throughout the. I mean, it's not the problem. That was
It's not
one
really
that was
an
kind
arc
of
then, right?
planted narratively. I'm a writer, so I can speak a little bit to this. Like it was a thing that was planted to kind of just be under the surface until it happened later on, while she was dealing with all kinds of these other
Yeah, but
problems.
it's not.
But
Well, see, to me, that's not an arc.
I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time.
I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time.
I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
So I don't know, maybe the juxtaposition of those later scenes versus what she said in the first episode, maybe that would get through to anybody that was under the same delusion. But basically, like, it's just weird. They're so confident, you know what I mean? Like, they're so confident they will go seek out other YouTubers and challenge them to debates, or rather challenge them to just have a friendly discussion watching a video, and then fucking challenge them to a surprise debate, which they weren't able to do with us. Yeah. Yeah, Vanessa Kirby's great. Real man doubles down. Absolutely. No, men do need to change and grow. I mean, everybody needs to. Like, we are all, until we become like fully self-aware and self-actualized and agents in our own existence, right? Which all of us are subject to forces outside of our control for, different amounts of time, right? You have to kind of unlearn some of that shit that's just kind of like shoved into your head before you have any choice in the matter, right? Wow, this is a really stupid fucking comment. I mean, like, dude, if you're gonna say such stupid things, at least spell them right. Say the appropriate word that you're trying to convey, because you sound like this reads like somebody with fetal alcohol syndrome has an extra chromosome or something. Like, I don't know what's going on here, man. That's really dumb. Okay. Yeah, if you want to come on and talk, man, we can do that. You can email me at actualphantom@gmail. If you're on Discord, I'm Dane AF, no spaces or anything. But what we're not going to do is just fucking listen to this bullshit and let you spew it in my chat. So email me, man. Hell yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, I do that whenever it's not like somebody that's I know is just a troll and a clout shark like Adam Friend it is. Like just now. This is my tactic now with these people that show up in chat. Anybody that's watching and you think that what I'm saying is fucking, is woke fucking cuck or whatever. Look, man, I'm not against hearing you out. I'm just not going to hear you out in my chat. I hear you out on the stream. Either this one or Friday if you want to come on. Tomorrow maybe. But it's weird how so many people will show up and talk shit in chat, but they don't want to actually come on a stream and like actually converse, have a conversation. It's weird. And the reason they don't want to do that is because I can hold them accountable and make them, answer for things that they say. They can't just like say a bunch of bullshit and then not respond to it. But yeah, speaking of, here's my date from last year. We went on that date. Remember that, Bob? I'm not gonna pull him on because I don't know if he's actually ready or not. So, there he is.
I can't believe you just called me out like that. I just want to hide in the background, see if you noticed.
I mean, there's the kind of a tone that happens whenever you join the stream. It's hard to miss.
True. It kind of a
Yeah.
smell too. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah, I mean, well, definitely when you joined.
Yeah, yeah. How are
Did
you
you see that?
doing?
Good, man. Did you see that edit that I did where like I had the definition of character arc on the screen? When
No, no.
check this real quick, check it out.
Nice. I saw
Where
you were talking about it.
I don't see it that way. I think when they wrote that line, they literally believe that line.
The first
And
part
that
I think is
Well,
true.
part of the point of the
what does that
show.
matter? Because the show is literally like the part of her arc is that she was wrong. So what does it matter what a writer
I don't
intended?
think that was really part of her arc. I mean, I wouldn't classify. Maybe we have a difference of how we look at arcs. I would define arcs generally as like it has to span the entirety of the season. This is like the problem that the character is dealing with.
Nope.
So,
nope.
Well, number one, he's throwing a weird thing up there. Number two, it did span the entirety of the season. So even under his own definition, it still qualifies. So,
Well, but they weren't
they're
constantly
special.
addressing it. They weren't constantly referencing it, right? Like
Okay.
somebody in chat said, it's like how Dr. House MD, he like every episode he talks about his disability. It's a problem he deals with. So that's his arc, right?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of people will be. I think a lot of people will be watching Fantastic Four that might not be watching some of the other stuff because superhero fatigue isn't really the problem here. I mean, it might be to some degree, but that's what I was thinking about today. It's like I'm actually glad that so many people are fucking like doubting Marvel right now. I really am because Marvel Studios, in fact, Marvel Comics, over the years has shown time and time again that underestimating them is to their advantage, and that they fucking come back every single time and they fucking stomp ass every single time. But especially Marvel Studios, they're like defined by rising from the goddamn ashes and beating the odds and stuff like that. So it's like actually I'm seeing it as more of a positive now because it's going to be a fucking hell of a Phoenix moment whenever it happens.
No, absolutely. They are pretty consistent with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right. Literally, like that's another thing that we haven't really mentioned. I guess talked about it that way, or I haven't. Maybe you have, but like
What is
the
it?
chuds that are like, oh, they're all the movies MCU's failing and blah blah blah. And it's like if not for the MCU,
Oh, yeah.
what movies would have been making any money during like the last couple of years? Really,
True.
Not many. So I didn't want to spoil the surprise about what you were up to. So how did your mission go? Was it accomplished?
It went well. Yes, I got a copy. It was very exciting.
I haven't even said what it was that you were doing. I just said that you're doing something related to a news item that we were going to talk about. So
It is very much related, and it was a road trip for me. It was a little over a comic shop, little over an hour away. If I was able to get a copy,
Damn.
They hosed me a bit on it, but you know what? I'm gonna be talking about it on stream, so it's a tax write-off. So if you're gonna host somebody,
Nice.
hose me.
So here's the deal. What Bob was doing was he was tracking down a copy of Ultimate Black Panther #1.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently Penguin Random House, which is the distributor for Marvel Comics, they lost over 12,000 copies of Ultimate Black Panther #1. Just lost them. And so comic shops were facing partial allocations or none due to the distribution mishap. And it went to second printing before the first even hit the stores because of this. And I mean, I read it whenever the day it came out last week. I had no idea about this because I got it digitally, but I read it. It's fucking good. Like both #1 so far are like they're setting up some cool shit.
I loved Ultimate Spider-Man #1, so I was excited to get this. And when I found out, oh my god, it's getting shorted, I went to my favorite comic shop. They are already out, and I just started texting comic shops during work today, and I found one because I got 2 responses, and they said, "Yeah, no, we sold out super fast. They're gone." And then I got one saying, "Oh, we got a few copies. We're still good." And I was able to go there. They had all the covers there. I picked out my favorite. I actually picked out the last of the last copy of this. This is the cover I picked out. I feel a little bad getting a Black Panther comic without Black Panther on it, but I just love the artwork on here. This is like Storm looks so badass here. It just
Jesus Christ, yeah, that's good. I hadn't seen that cover. That is fucking wow. Wowie, wow, wow, wow. Yeah, so they're married in this one, right? Or they're not.
I don't know. I haven't read it yet,
No,
so I'll find
I
out.
don't think they are. Man, it's like I forgot half the issue. But yeah, it's a cool cover. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
So yeah, the premise of it is, and not to spoil anything, 'cause this is just kind of like advertised premise. In this ultimate universe that the maker has created and he did so by just basically going back in time and stopping all or most of, not all of them, but most of the creation of superheroes from happening. So like, he stopped the Avengers from finding Captain America. He stopped the Fantastic Four from happening. He stopped Spider-Man from happening. Until now. And at the same, so basically, like, what happened was in the intervening years, instead of all these superheroes existing, the maker kind of created this global government out of certain factions that just kind of like keeps control over the world by pretending that they're at war with one of them, and then every once in a while they'll change who the bad guy is, basically. And it's all just like wag the dog type shit. But now that the maker has been neutralized temporarily after Ultimate Invasion, now it leaves kind of things to develop on their own. You get things like young Tony Stark. He's a teenager. He takes up the Iron Man armor, becomes Iron Lad, and then he goes and rescues Thor, who's been in the fucking basically in the dungeons in Asgard for a long time. Yeah, but like, so you get things like in Africa is run by Khonshu's avatars, basically. So you've got Khonshu and Ra. That's what it is. So it's the sun and the moon gods, and then it's just like two guys that represent the sun and the moon. Unclear what relation that is to the Moon Knight that we know, but that's how it's manifested in this universe. And apparently they're not great guys, and they kind of run Africa with an iron fist, except for the one nation that managed to not be conquered by them. Guess which one that is?
Kenya?
Yeah, that's the one. That's it. Yeah.
Wow, the total guess.
No, it's Wakanda. And so they've since the Ultimate Invasion, I think Ultimate Comics #1 ends with the powers that be, the kind of overlords of the earth, creating a false flag incident, basically, and blaming they blew up a good bit of, I think it was New York, and blame it on young Tony Stark. So he's labeled as a terrorist and shit. I mean, everybody, shit. Like, you take Reed Richards, who we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
And you remove morality. That's fucking terrifying.
I mean, he can still get kind of thready on the morality just to begin with. Just get rid of it completely. Jesus, that's terrifying.
Well, you say that. It's really just more like he operates on such a level of intellect that he can make moral choices that you don't understand. And I'm just that's the way it's depicted sometimes. But yeah, he can do some kind of
But yeah, I am excited to dive into this one. If it's anything like Ultimate Spider-Man, then it'll be great.
So you were on the road, probably. You don't know about the announcement, right?
Probably not. I've been on the road. I've been at work and on the road until pretty much now.
So we have a cast and release date for Fantastic Four.
Holy shit, we do?
Yeah, I changed all the streams to that. I was just like, you know what, that supersedes everything else. I'm fucking putting that in every single one of them.
I am excited.
So that's probably why a lot of people are watching right now, is they're waiting on that. So let's not delay any further. Let's give them the people what they want.
Yeah.
So this was released by Marvel Studios, and I think it's PR Deadpool was like, this was Kevin Feige going, I don't want people thinking about Madam Web too much, so I gotta do something here.
Yeah.
And so this was released. Happy Valentine's Day, Fantastic Four.
Oh.
And you got your Pedro Pascal, and this is what I saw at first, and I didn't know that anything else had come out, and I was like, well, who were these other people? I guess they're not going to tell us who they are. But no, they did.
I'll just go ahead and say again, Pedro Pascal is perfect casting.
I mean, the casting all around so far is fucking phenomenal, dude. Like, let me get you to the others. Somebody conveniently did this.
Oh yeah, I see the post.
So you got Joseph Quinn, who played what's his name on Stranger Things, the heavy metal D&D guy.
Oh, sure. Okay, I was trying to think where he was on Stranger Things. I'm not used to him with short hair. Okay.
And Olivia, was it Olivia Kirby? Or I'm sorry, Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really convincing. It's like, is this just a still from the movie? I don't know.
Yes, it is. They're already shooting.
Well, speaking of shooting, I've already done this once, but I didn't do it yet for you, Bob. So, speaking of shooting, here's the thing.
True.
Merry Christmas, lizards. Sounds like we got a real problem out here. Any of you incel, QAnon, 4chan, Snyder Cut motherfuckers want to get on a line now?
So we've got a Jewish actor with blue eyes. Clearly, he can play the part. I think he's going to be great. Like, because it's like the thing we all have in our mind a certain idea of what the thing is, and more or less, Michael Chiklis played it the same way that whoever played it in the I think that this dude's going to bring a different, like not a different, but an extra layer to it for some reason. Like he's just a fucking phenomenal actor. If you haven't seen The Bear, watch The Bear. Especially season 2. There's one episode especially in season 2 called Forks that he's like the focus of, and it's so fucking good. So goddamn good. Yeah, no, not February 24th. It's going to be, sorry, let me pull open an actual article so I can have
July 25th, 2025.
There you go.
Yeah, in case, here's the post.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, that's a big thing to drop. And yeah, they might be doing it because of Madam Web, because number one, their name might be a bit more out there, and maybe they want something besides Madam Web associated with it right now, because everything I've heard about Madam Web has been incredibly bad.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody expected it to be good, which is bizarre
Nope.
because then you go look at any of these chud channels that are talking about it, and they're acting like, for one, they're kind of like conflating it with the MCU, some of them, and then they're also acting like that it, because it sucks or is gonna suck and is not gonna make any money, that's somehow some culture war win, and it's like, dude, nobody wanted this. Like, this is not something that anybody was just like. I mean, I'm sure, look, if there's somebody out there that's excited about Madam Web and that's your thing or whatever, I'm not trying to take that from you. I'm just saying that as far as the way it's being presented, no.
Well, listen, I think Dakota Johnson's a very talented actress. I think Madam Web is, I mean, I guess there's potential in the character, but she's never excited me whatsoever.
It's never been a character that like anybody. This is just one of those things. Like whenever the PlayStation leaks happened a decade ago, and it came out that they were talking about doing a movie about Aunt May, and then Madam Web was one of them. Where everybody that saw that was like, "Are you fucking kidding me, Sony?"
Yes.
And it was like, okay, now that they've been firmly embarrassed about they were even talking about this, well, then we don't have to worry about that. But no, they went ahead and fucking did it anyway.
Yeah.
So. I don't know. Yeah, it has started filming for sure, I believe. Right? Or no, hasn't.
I don't know. We like pretty much what we know is that post right now. I would get. I mean, if they have the cast set, do we have a direct? They have to have a director set then. Yeah. Hold on.
I mean, it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be what you call them. Originally, John Watts, right?
I think so. Yes.
I think it's Matt Shackman still, right?
Ooh.
Because Matt Shackman, he's fucking got a start, or at least made a name for himself on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and then moved on to things like WandaVision. So as far as I know,
that's right. WandaVision. That's where. Yes, it is.
Well, let's see what Jeremy Griggs has to say about it.
I wish I could quit.
Oh.
Or just die.
Oh. Okay. Well, poor guy. Seems to be struggling a little bit.
That's a bit more honest than I'm used to from him. I mean,
Well, also, well, Ryan
sometimes he
Kennel
says
too.
quiet part out loud, but damn. Yeah.
Ryan Kennel, he's going to say that. He's going to say what he feels.
I eat farts yummy.
I eat farts. Yummy. Okay. Wow. Sorry.
Good for him. Good for him.
Good. Not trying to shame you or anything. Watts left or got fired or something like that. I don't know. I think that was presented that he left or some shit. No, it's not, man. Just fuck off,
Yeah,
dude.
I don't
He's
think
going to. He went to another. Did you go to another fucking stream just to say this shit? You're like a rapist. Your people are like, hey, go away. You're not wanted here. Don't do that. And it's like, no, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna force myself on it. Like that's kind of rapey, man. Get out of here. Sorry.
I was about
Oh
to
my
say, I
God.
think I'm jumping in the middle of something here.
Well, that person showed up, I guess right before you got here and was like just saying a bunch of random garbage. You know how these people do when they show up and they see us and they just can't, like, their brains can't fucking parse the fact that someone is saying the things that we're saying on a stream because they are so
Yeah.
they're so algorithmically cowed into a fucking, like this little bubble that to hear us speaking, they're like, oh no, I gotta fucking tell them that woke is a real thing. It's bad.
How do you not understand the definition of woke? Oh, well, can you define it?
Well, like he said, it's the same thing as the neocons of the 90s.
Oh.
Wow, that's the first I've heard that fucking attempt, right? Like,
Sure.
oh man. By the way, Smirking Gun. I listened to a bit of your video on the Ultimate Spider-Man thing, and yeah, it's good shit, man. You got a good channel over there talking about comics. If anybody wants to check out a new channel, where I'm frozen on. Anybody wants to check out a new channel that well, I mean, he's not new, but one you haven't necessarily checked out before. How about that? Smirking Gun's doing it, talking about comics and whatnot. And he shouted us out in the video, Bob. So I have to kind of repay the.
Yes. I have heard. I've been meaning to check out his channel because I know I've been in contact with him, but I'm busy.
Yeah, we're also hyped about Madam Web.
Oh God, who isn't hyped about Madam Web? I heard a rumor that Morbius will be in this one, and he'll say it's Morbin time, and he'll morb.
They're gonna like superimpose him into a hastily put together post credit scene the way they did with Vulture.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
God.
Vulture will put together a team.
Sony's over here just like, look, Marvel, we're doing it too. And Marvel's like, yes, Sony, good job. You're doing it,
And then you got the dipshits on YouTube going, oh, look, Marvel's doing Madam Web. Don't you see? Marvel's failing.
Look, there is a reason they do that. The reason, guys, please internalize the hell out of this. If you haven't seen the new video that I uploaded last night, actually, I implore you to watch it. We're going to be talking about it a lot more. We're probably going to have to do some more analysis on this and reveal what we find as we find it. But like, just simply the fact that these guys are confirmed to be working with InfoWars should tell you a lot about, like, I've said it for a couple of years now. Stop thinking, oh, why are they so upset about this? They're not upset. They're never upset. Unless, they get exposed for something, right? They're never actually upset. They don't actually care about these things. They don't give a single shit about anything except pushing their narrative. And I don't know, maybe they do it more for money reasons. Maybe they do it for political reasons. You can't really know for sure, but they're doing it cynically, deceptively, 100%. Yeah, check out that video. I mean, look, I'm not going to fucking bury the lead any further. The Fandom Menace chuds are working with InfoWars.
Now this is journalism. Yeehaw!
Mm-hmm.
It's all about getting the clicks. It's all they care about.
I mean, Sony is partially responsible for the Spider-Man films. We got to give them some credit there, but that's only because
Yeah.
like Feige was holding Amy Pascal's hand through the whole
No,
process.
you know what? I will give Sony credit for their animated Spider-Man movies.
Sure.
Those
Oh
things
yeah.
have been fucking amazing.
I
Getting Lord and
mean,
Miller in charge of those was a great call, and yeah.
yeah, the Cross the Spider-Verse movies, you can't take away any credit for those. Who the hell was that guy? The guy that said, "Now this is journalism." That's H Bomber guy. He's a YouTuber. He's kind of small. Nobody has ever heard of him. I don't think.
Yeah, well, I think he almost has 100 subs.
Yeah,
Almost.
something like that. His most recent video has something like 15 views.
Yeah, poor guy.
I'm sorry, 15 million. That's what I was reading that wrong.
Oh shit.
The year of
Yeah, what's that
spum?
capital M mean at the end?
I don't know what spum is. Anyway, what do we got? What else we got? We did that one. More comics news we got here. This is pretty cool because look, Chuds are not going to be happy about this. I don't know if they've realized this yet, but this could be bad news for the old Comicsgate crowd. Because one of the reasons that they're able to grift on, comics are dying and everything's so bad and stuff is like, no, comic sales aren't the best they've ever been. And there's definitely a lot of problems within the industry in terms of how creators are paid or not paid, compensated at all for the value of what they contribute. But one of the main reasons they've been able to say for several years that the sales are all down and all this stuff, because there's not any real like one clear source to find the sales numbers and to go, look, there's the sales. That's what, like the ones that you can get on like the Beat or whatever websites might have it. They have some good estimates, but it takes, kind of looking over basically what they have to do now since the distribution monopoly ended during COVID. They have to just ask comic shops, like, how much did you sell? And that's a bit of an undertaking, and it's not an exact science. But ICV2 announces ICV2 Direct. ICV2 is launching ICV2 Direct, a new platform for sales direct from publishers to stores, the company announced. On Direct, retailers will be able to order from multiple publishers with a single account on an easy-to-use platform. ICV2 will process the order, send the orders and payment to the publishers, and the publishers will ship retailer orders directly out of their inventory to stores. Could be a game changer. Could be. We started working on ICV2 Direct during COVID, and we're proud to finally bring it to market. It's been clear for some time that the supply chain for game and comic stores has a problem with backlist, lesser known, and limited quantity products that may not be as profitable to stock at distributors. More and more publishers are building the capacity to ship directly to stores. We're launching ICV2 Direct to help retailers looking to source these products in a convenient way and help publishers looking to connect with retailers that can sell their products. Thousands of stores and hundreds of publishers visit ICV2 for our daily business news, and we're going to help connect them in a new way that will benefit the entire industry. Fucking based.
Sounds awesome. It'll be good to get some numbers too, because I feel like all the numbers are like whenever you look them up, it's like at least like a year old if you're lucky.
Yeah, everything is like over a year behind. That's obscure, but fuck. Okay, what do you mean? What do we use to judge comic sales? Well, I mean, by and large, comic sales have risen almost every year since the existence of Comicsgate. That's an uncomfortable fact they don't like to say. And of course, if you point that out to them, they will say, well, that's mainly because of manga. It's like, okay, maybe that's true. It's actually not mainly because of manga. It's mainly because of juvenile fiction. They don't talk about that.
Like the best-selling comic book last I saw was or at least
Primer.
under this category was a Heartstopper.
Oh yeah, there's the Heartstopper. Then there's also just in more kind of like superhero-ish stuff. There's Primer. I looked at that on stream on my stream a few weeks ago. Juvenile fiction is like Heartstopper, I mean, let's look at some of it because it is kind of, unless you know what it is, then it's just this vague thing that doesn't exist.
I'll tell you guys, my daughter is a huge fan of Heartstopper.
Mine too. Yeah, mine too. Juvenile genre contains anything that would appeal to the teen demographic. The actual age of the target reader is determined not only by the age of the main character, but also the conflict and issue that the teen is dealing with. So here's best juvenile fiction books of 2022. You got Our Own Little Paradise. It's like a lot of slice of life type stuff, and it's just stuff that most adults probably wouldn't have any real interest in. But not to say that it's wrong if you wanted to read it, but Our Own Little Paradise, Legend of the Dream Giants, Honey and Me, Nowhere Better Than Here, Small Town Pride. So a lot of this stuff is actually what is being targeted by book bans and stuff like that.
Yes,
because it's speaking to teens and stuff, and then there are queer creators writing about queer experiences, and then oh my god, a queer teen might be able to read about somebody that has lived through what they're experiencing, and then
oh
no,
my god,
my aunt is a monster, unfadable, door of no return. These are all technically, these are comics, graphic novels. I haven't heard of, I don't think, any of these, but that's the best ones of 2022. Yeah, and then obviously there is a large fucking chunk of sales that is manga, Shonen Jump stuff, but that is not at odds with superhero comics, and
No.
It's weird that they act like it is.
No, lots of superheroes will go ahead and make manga versions of their book, and then there's just a pretty big crossover. Honestly, it's not like versus each other like they like to set up, but of course they go for the verses whenever they can.
Well, so if you break down the sales, what we do have of the, I think the last one is 2022, maybe. I need to look again and see if there's an updated one, but what I remember is that the sales for every slice of the pie, so to speak, have risen. So manga has definitely risen, but so has just superhero comics, the stuff that you think about whenever you talk about comics, mainly. And so it would appear that really, not only do they not conflict with each other, but it would seem like it's beneficial to superhero comics that manga is doing so well. There's no direct way to say that these are related in that way, but it could be. Yeah, the publishing, the publishing distribution, all of it's so fucking different from how it's.
Well, lots of manga is released weekly, isn't it?
No. People can buy so many things, but so you're just deciding that because you feel this way that's the case, I guess. It's not a zero-sum game. Do you have any evidence of that? Do you have do you think that everybody just only buys one or the other? Because there are a lot of people that don't like manga or don't have any interest in it, rather. There's also
I'll be honest, I've never read one.
I've read a couple, and sorry to hear that, man. What are you basing that on? You see a trailer or something? You just don't like the casting? If someone can only buy $20, they might buy $10 in manga and $10 in comics, or $5 in comics and $10. There's nobody that's gonna just go, I will only buy one thing. This limited amount of money must only go to this one thing. Especially whenever, doesn't a lot of manga just come in a big fucking a catalog or some shit? I don't know.
That's outside my expertise. No, I'm just looking for a decent comic sales chart. I know I found them before.
Yeah, DC is breaking Primer into single issues for comic shops. They're trying to get Primer to somehow this young teenage fiction, like targeted at teen girls, basically. It's outselling Watchmen. It's outselling Watchmen. Okay, like that is the future. Honestly, like these people that act like that there's no people are interested in comics anymore, whatever. Like they're not catering to you fucking people. They're not even really, I mean, yes, they cater to me because they know how to make good stories with characters that I like, but like they're not like trying to add back in big titty, weird proportion women, and just edgelord bullshit to appeal to these chuds. They're appealing to the people that are the future of buying comics, which are kids. And they act like I don't know.
Yes.
No, that's not. But that's not what you said, man. You said this is a zero-sum game, and you just are making that kind of claim without any kind of. It's just that's a strong feeling you have, and that's fine. But I just think it's kind of silly. Thank you. Yeah, they're different formats.
Yeah.
And look, the comic books need to change. In my opinion, they need to just go ahead and start phasing out the periodical. Unfortunately, maybe Marvel, DC, one of them, both needs to like take some percentage of their line and turn that into just releasing trades, like seasonal trades or something like that. Maybe that's the thing to do. I don't know. So periodicals are the monthly books, like coming out every month, and that sucks. That's really shitty to think about because that's how they've always been. That's comics have always come out monthly, more or less.
The classic version, essentially.
But it's kind of everything has changed so much. Distribution, consumption, digital, and then and they're addicted to selling things the way that they are because they're it's a capitalist entity, so they like. This is how we've always made our money. If we change it, we might not make money anymore. And it's like, well, but you gotta adapt. TV shows don't make 24 hours. That's a really good point. The way TV is adapted, comics could stand a,
Yeah, it has a really good point.
That's another thing. That's another thing chuds do, by the way, is they will focus on just the periodical sales and go, look, the sales are down. It's like,
no,
now look at the trade sales, asshole.
Yeah, that'll drive me nuts too, because they'll be like, oh, well, I don't like looking at this chart because it includes graphic novels. It's like, what universe does that not count? That absolutely counts.
Now that one little Nazi bastard, I'm not going to say his name, but I think you debated him or Ed did, one of you. In chat one day somewhere, he was like, I bet you don't even buy comics every week. I was like, not always, no, not like almost never, actually. I mean, not like in stores do I, but a lot of stuff. Let's see, I probably spend $20 a week on weekly comics. And then other than that, I read a lot more comics than that, but a lot of it is trades that I buy once it's all collected, or I've got, also got Comixology and stuff like that. But yeah, so he was like, that's not a real comics fan. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what?
Yeah, how dare you just want to get the story in one complete volume and enjoy it?
If the changes need to affect creators positively, like something needs to, because the creators are not getting what they're owed. They're not getting what they deserve. They're not getting, especially when you consider that these properties are used. Comics are kind of a proving ground for the movies now. And so they're literally getting these creators to test out stories and characters in comics, and then they'll go, "Oh, that did really well. Let's put that in a movie." And then the movie goes and makes $1 billion. And that creator's just like, "I can't pay my rent." Like, no.
Yeah, frequently, like they get away with it. They will. Capitalism.
In which genre? If you're asking which books are well known in the juvenile fiction genre, probably not very many if you're not a juvenile. But I mean, if you're not, Heartstopper, it's been pretty popular. Oh boy, Little Movie Perp. With the dude, if you want to come on and give a review of Madam Web, you're welcome to. I'll drop a link.
Please tell me it is an entertaining shit show. I know it's not going to be good, but if it's a shit show, I can enjoy a good shit show.
Indeed. Here's another good shit show right here. Let's just watch this clip of this is from Ripping the Silverback.
I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm on antidepressants at the wazoo, literally.
I can't get off Satan ass, bro.
Social media, I think it's reality. I'm cripplingly lonely, and I'm desperate for attention. And so I put in my bio a shitload of flags and gained other people's opinions as my own and call myself as from heel versus babyface.
Yeah.
What a fucking useless sack of shit I am.
I can't believe he actually said that on stream.
Takes all types. I don't know. I can't believe this guy actually said this.
I know what Glenn Beck's butthole looks like.
That's not what he told me.
Okay. What did he tell you?
He told me he knows what it tastes like.
Oh. Anyway, by the way, what up, NerdTube? How's it going, man? Did you guys had on what's his name recently, right? What's that guy's name? Forget. Alec Peters. Didn't you have him on?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw. I know you didn't see it ahead of time, but I don't know if you saw it afterward. That I did try to put out a warning about that. What do you mean by legacy comics? I don't know what you.
I mean, they do reprints a lot too. It's
that wasn't you. Okay.
Money for them. Yeah.
Well, wasn't you? Good. Then I'm glad to hear I was mistaken there. Because holy shit. So like me and Morgan were talking about recently that the way they've been doing freaking kind of crossovers lately. Like there was a what was it? Dark Web. And now they're doing Gang War or whatever, which I have really no interest in reading. It's just doesn't sound like a crossover.
I dipped my toes in it a little bit, and I'm not thrilled.
But the way they're doing it is instead of having for a long time the way that they would do it at events is they'd have the pre thing, so it's like alpha or whatever, and then number one, and then it would go to the series that was just titled like Civil War or Secret Empire or whatever, and you have like 6, 8, 9 issues of that, but also in between that issue all the titles would have their tie-ins, and that's too much, man. Like, and what they're doing now is they're getting rid of that main line title, basically, it seems like. So there's no Gang War title. It's all just the Gang War banner going over the top of like each of the characters or whatever team books, and they just are part of the crossover, which really was the way they used to do it. And it's a much better way, I think. It's not as unwieldy. It's also doesn't ask as much money from the fucking reader just to stay on top of stuff. That's okay. I'm just not sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead and respond because I'm going to take us to another topic.
Well, I just wasn't sure. I still don't know what you mean by that, but that's okay. Yeah.
No, I was just going to go ahead and bring this up because I am kind of excited to see how this plays out.
Amalgam?
So, yes. No, if you've been watching my stream, one series that has really caught my eye that I've almost completely caught up with now. The current run of Wonder Woman. Really fucking good stuff. I'm really impressed with how Tom King is handling that series. And possibly spoilers for issue 6, but I think this is interesting. apparently issue 6 will involve the insurrection in some way. I don't know how. Where we left off at 5, I'm kind of intrigued. It's like we got like the Wonder Team and the super villains all teamed up and probably going to head. I'm not sure how it ties into the insurrection, but Tom King so far has really impressed me with this series. And I didn't even realize this. Tom King is ex-CIA. I mean, holy shit.
Yeah, you didn't know about that?
No, I
That's
did not.
definitely yeah. That's kind of a yikesy thing. I don't know, like I don't know, man. I mean, it's kind of weird
Yeah,
to think
I
that.
don't know either. I mean, I will say the book reads fairly progressive, so
Yeah, he's definitely not like
whoever his
a
past is, and the artwork's amazing. Like
sure.
there's some issue 5 right there. That's the supervillain team. I guess they'll be at the Capitol. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think Scott Pilgrim is really juvenile fiction. I think that was definitely not really targeted at juveniles in the same way that that stuff is, to be honest. Yeah, not everyone works, but is a fash. But you got to be kind of like a little bit of a covert, shithead. I don't know. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, so what? I couldn't really understand what it was trying to say in this article, honestly.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I'm not clear either. I think it's just kind of teasing Wonder Woman 6 at this point.
it seems like it's like not necessarily that it's doing the insurrection, but there is something
Yeah,
that's going to happen that's going to very much obviously kind of evoke the insurrection, right?
parallel it some way or something.
Yeah. Which is a choice, because I'm
Yeah.
sure there are a lot of people that are going to think that's a great idea and they're not going to be upset about it at all.
I mean, the Chuds already hate this book. They
Yeah.
are pissed at it. So, and I love it. So, I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think I looked up what Tom King did, and it was still kind of it was not like one of those like he was just a janitor or something like that. It was kind of yikesy, but it's fine. It's fine.
Mhm.
I enjoyed Tom. I'm one of the maybe the only defender of Tom King's Batman run. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was pretty good. Um, you know,
I know it's shocking. Wonder Woman goes political, guys.
she's never done that before.
Yeah, true, true. Yeah,
DJ's still hung up with work and stuff, so it's just stuck with me for now.
haha. Well, I'm here. Damn it.
That's what I was talking to you. You're stuck with me.
Oh, true.
Yeah, his Vision book, right? Like Vision was fucking terrific. Why did I like his Tom King Batman run? Because it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. I liked the I mean, even just starting off, you had was it I Am Gotham, and you had the superhero Gotham, and that was all like the reason I like Tom King is because he gets trauma, and he except for Heroes in Crisis, I don't know what the fuck was going on there. It was a weird. I think there's some editorial stuff going on there, some shit, but yeah.
All right, so I guess following up with more comic book news because this one actually kind of confuses me. Marvel and DC Comics to republish their amalgam stuff.
Yeah, at first
Now,
I got excited because I thought they were doing new amalgam stuff, and it's like, no,
yeah.
not that.
Well, let me go ahead and make it clear. When Amalgam came out, when like they did Marvel versus DC in those books and Amalgam, I got them all. I was excited. I thought this would be awesome, and it was fine.
Just real quick though, the Terror Story. I don't think anybody said that either. Like, I mean, I just said that even if I disagree with his politics, which I'm sure I do on some level, I liked his Batman run. So it's just, I don't know.
I think he's a good writer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're just republishing the Amalgam series and the iconic crossovers. So I guess Marvel versus DC as well.
I guess so. Yeah, that was a magical era when they actually came together and stuff. But like, I mean, look, Bob of the old ways. Let's be realistic here. Amalgam was more fun in like conception than it
Yeah.
was in reality. I've got some of these issues, and
I have like all of them, and
I do too.
uh,
I think I do.
mm,
Well, no, I'm sorry. I have like number 1 and 2 of most of them. I believe is what I got.
I mean,
Um,
you get Dark Claw who looks badass, and it's just a Wolverine Batman mix, and it's just kind of Batman with claws.
Lobo the Duck. You know.
Yeah, Lobo the Duck.
See, I feel
These are
like
fun ideas that are good for like one joke.
now they would make it like I don't know, might mix more like Lobo and Deadpool or something. You know, you got to think about like the characters that are popular now.
Yeah.
If they were to do a new amalgam, there'd probably be some pretty interesting new versions and stuff. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what they would come up with for a newer amalgam for like all the more popular characters. God,
I
I
mean,
do not remember the name of the Superman Captain America
it was
guy.
he was super soldier.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And then there was also Bruce Wayne, agent of Shield or some shit too.
yes. Yes, I forgot about that. That was an interesting idea.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, here's what they're redoing. JLX, Doctor Strange, Fate, Legend. I remember all these book titles. This is Magneto and the Magnetic Men.
Doctor
Dark
Strange
Claw
Fate is just
Adventures.
that's strange. Doctor Strange Fate, that's a good fucking name. Like, I'm sorry, just like it's too perfect. The two characters are basically the same guy, you know, not really, but their
Yeah.
powers, you know, the role they fill in the universe is the same. Sorry.
Now, Dark Claw Adventures was kind of the fun one where they did that Dark Claw,
That-
but was in the animation style, of the
Yes.
animated series. And, yeah, Lobo the Duck, Challengers of the Fantastic.
Is that what they did with Storm and Wonder Woman? Oh, yikes.
I'm trying to remember that. Did
Is
they
that
do
Amazon?
Maybe. That sounds familiar.
And then there was All Access. Oh man, So Access was the character that was
Yeah.
created by Marvel and DC. That was Marvel and DC came together, created Access, and his power is he can fucking access the two universes.
You can jump between the two. There's a reason they don't revisit this a whole lot because it's like you hear it's like, oh, that sounds cool, and then you see it in practice, it's like, eh.
Well, when you learn about what they did to make this stuff happen, not just this, but then preceding that, the versus stuff, like they had to work a lot of shit out. Like, and there was
Yeah.
corporate interests at play, and the corporate interests are only more intense now. But like they were, you know, each side had characters that they refused to let lose in the versus stuff.
Mhm.
It was like,
Yeah.
okay, you know, we're gonna have votes for some characters, but not all the characters, because you know, like they didn't want. I think it was Batman and Captain America came to a draw, from what I remember. They just decided we can't have either one of these lose to the other one.
Yeah.
And then there was what was it, Wolverine and don't recall, but
Oh
it was
yeah, it
like
was Wolverine and Lobo, and Wolverine won, even though
Yes.
technically with Lobo's powers, it's not possible.
it
But
really wouldn't have
I don't know.
happened that
Even
way.
with
But
Wolverine's powers, I don't know. It's
so it was kind of you know, kind of crappy in that way when you really look at how they had.
I mean,
But I mean,
they also they did Flash versus Quicksilver, and at that time, Quicksilver did speed of sound, so it's like, where's the fight? Where's
yeah, 'cause Quicksilver is basically an ant to the Flash, moving like a piece of, I don't know, jelly or something.
yeah? There was a couple fights where it's like, well, that's not even a contest. That's not. Kind of makes me want to dig it up because it would take me too long, but yeah.
Aquaman 1 versus Submariner. Yeah, so it's basically like whichever character sells the best and has is the most popular
Yeah.
one, then that's going to be the one that wins. You know, and in the 90s, whoever would have gone up against Wolverine, just sorry about your luck. The 90s was Wolverine's
Yeah.
decade. So somebody asked here a little while ago, what do we think about this this Vosh business? Well, you know, it's silly. It's dumb.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Yeah, I've looked. Yeah, you looked into it deeper than I did. I looked into it enough to go, oh,
I've looked
It's
into it,
kind of
and with the
lame.
question in my mind of like, should we talk about this? And what I decided was nay. Get it? Because nay.
Because he's into horses.
Yeah. Well, he wants to be a horse. It seems like.
Ooh.
Yeah, they asked for certain ones, yes, but not all of them. Did they not? They didn't allow fans to decide all of them.
Yeah, it was the top 5 that the fans decide. Let me see. Like the cover art of the first one will give you pretty much tells you all the fights.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get a good quality image of that.
Oh, nothing. He didn't do anything. Like for once, he didn't do anything controversial. Everybody loves him, and it's all good.
Okay, here we go. So yeah, here's pretty much the fights they did. It was Superman versus Hulk. That was a vote one. Shazam versus Thor. That was not a vote one. Flash versus Quicksilver. Not a vote. Aquaman versus Namor. Jubilee versus Robin.
Are you kidding me? Oh my god! Of course, Robin won that one, right? Like,
I'm sure.
I
Wonder Woman
just
versus Storm. Superboy versus Spider-Man.
that was Ben Reilly Spider-Man too.
No, it was Peter Parker.
Was it? Because that's
yes.
Well, okay.
Peter
So,
Parker then.
are you? But it was the one that was whenever he was temporarily. They thought that the clone was Peter Parker. I think.
Possibly, but it was Peter Parker Spider-Man because I remember they even like they introduced it. They didn't do anything with it, but Peter Parker was in the DC universe and he worked with Clark Kent for like a scene.
Sandman, I mean, we're not really going to get into it, but I do have to push back against some misinformation. I mean, and just kind of like, incorrect. It's not lolly porn. Sorry. It ain't. But there's definitely horse porn in there. I ain't going to defend that shit. So whatever.
But yeah, Captain America, Batman, Wolverine, Lobo. And I believe the vote ones were Wolverine, Lobo, Captain America, Batman, Wonder Woman, Storm, Spider-Man, Superboy, and Hulk, Superman. I believe were the vote ones. Come on,
I looked at it like, I mean, it's not. I mean, it's really not, man. It really wasn't. Sandman, sorry. People that tracked it down were Nazis, dude. Like the sources that were saying that shit, just like if you're just trusting that based on what they're saying, there were literal Nazis with Aryan in their fucking Twitter handles and stuff that were fucking saying that shit. So you got to be careful. Yeah, it's I remember that, like the main thing that I remember is just the fight with Batman and Captain America being pretty cool because like they essentially were
they're pretty matched. Yeah,
like evenly, like perfectly. Like, every single move, basically, they were like, "Oh, he countered that, and he tried that, but I countered it."
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. It's true. It's pretty iconic, man. Like I remember when this came out, I was,
dude. I saw that comic cover. I was like, I'm buying that. I need it.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I think the thing to take from this is that no, it's not new thing that they're doing, but the fact that they're getting together to republish it, that's a good sign. And remember, the reason that they did this in the first place in the 90s was because the industry was actually on life support then. This was a desperate move for them to come together and make this happen because they needed to goose the sales, and it worked. That's why everybody knows more or less kind of is familiar with this shit. Even if you never read it, you kind of know that it happened. Is that Mark? It does look like Mark Bagley a bit, doesn't it?
It might be. Yeah, that may not be the person who did the cover, though. I don't know.
You know what we should do is we haven't done a tier list in a while, so we should maybe plan to do just like a superhero tier list someday.
That could be fun. I'm down.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, you're right. I know that Perez did. I think yeah.
Oh.
I think it is Perez, right?
That seems possible too. Yeah.
It also doesn't look like Perez's best work if it is Perez.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be a good one. Sure. But I mean, like,
Like,
with
oh, Marvel versus DC, I'm down.
you got to think though, if they were so uptight about letting certain characters not, to lose or something back then, and then you think about how much they look at these characters as fucking cash cows now, they're going to be like, it would probably take a team of lawyers just in a room for a week to decide on certain
Well, I mean,
what's going to happen here.
If they were to do this now, I feel like Marvel would have an unfair advantage. Their movies have been outrageously popular,
Mhm.
and I mean, even looking at this back now, like back in the day, Superboy versus Spider-Man, they are throwing Superboy under the bus hard. There's like no way. There's
Well, I mean, yeah, that is Stan Jurgens. Thank you. Yes, but I mean, like, it becomes that anyway, But that's not the thing that's going to sell tickets, so to speak.
yeah.
Them fighting is going to sell the tickets and get butts and seats. But then, of course, like in superhero tradition, of course they come together to fight the big bad thing by the end.
Yeah.
That's just what happens. But yeah.
Because like it was a thing where like the universes just started merging and they had to stop the merging before it all just collapsed or something. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But yes, it was a thing. It was
Dude, but I mean, like now you would get shit like Red Hood versus Winter Soldier. Like
I would be down for that fight.
that is a promising matchup. It's like, oh yeah, you used to be a sidekick that got killed in action. Me too.
Yeah.
Do you want to just go out and get some beers and not fight? Yeah, fuck this shit. And then they go out and get some beer. Anyway,
so sure we could have Uncle Ben versus Thomas Wayne.
Oh my god. So we got one more comic story, and it's a transitional one. Transitions us into well, we got movies too. We can do movies last, I guess. We've kind of done a little bit, but so this is from a few days ago, but it's worth discussing, I think, because it kind of frustrated me, but also, yeah, we'll get into it. This is an article from Bleeding Cool, which is generally just Rich Johnston. It seems like I don't know if they have anybody else working for him. Every single article I see is by him. He's been doing it for a long time, and sometimes he's got some dumb takes. Sometimes he's very, very good at just presenting facts. And then there's other times like this where it's like mixed, very mixed. So this is an article that says from a former Batman writer, Chuck Dixon, creates Horseman with Joe Bennett.
You overpronounce the A. It's Horseman.
Horseman? Horseman. Horseman. At a Florida comic convention, MegaCon, Eric D. July announced Horseman, a new comic book from Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett. So this article summary says, they unveil Horseman following their Alpha Core series. Horseman is to feature street-level crime fighting, scheduled for summer release. Dixon, former Batman writer known for right-wing comics, continues at Rippaverse, and artist Joe Bennett moves past Marvel controversy, collaborating on new titles. Yeah, look, I mean, that was going to be the thing. If we would have decided we were going to really focus on the Vosh thing, I was trying to figure out how to merge those two. I was going to be like, is Vosh trying out for the Horseman movie? I don't, but never mind. There's Horseman again.
I'm excited to see a street level hero who's part a fighter, part horse.
I mean, apparently he's just a guy that wears a horse mask. Like,
well, he's a big fan of chess, so that's why he has the big chess reference.
Right. That's what that means.
Okay,
no, like
you the big bad booty daddy.
I think it'd be great to go through the chess reference because it would just come off like a chess reference by someone who's never fucking looked at a chessboard before and just knows there's a horse piece and just think it's a horseman.
Well, so excuse me. My thing with this article is, for one, it shouldn't exist. There's no reason to cover this shit as if it's like legitimate comic books, and for the most part, he hasn't been, and that of course has created And this seems like a win for the Rippaverse, because whenever they were first putting out the Rippaverse and whatnot, they didn't cover it. They weren't talking about it, or maybe they eventually did, but they kind of were dismissive of it. And of course, Eric July and those guys, they write articles, they on what you call it, bounding into fascism, and then they post videos saying, "Oh, the mainstream comics won't talk about us," and that allows them to pretend like victims. They're victims, and then they also can say, "But we're overcoming the fact that the mainstream won't cover us. We're still selling all this." It's like, dumb shit. And so now just deciding eventually I'm going to cover this as if it's a legitimate thing is, I don't know. I don't agree with it. There's other things he could be spending his time doing. So, and as we know, like the Rippaverse isn't long for this world. It's just not sustainable. So just let it peter out. Anyway, but he does go on to say, Chuck Dixon used to write Batman, Birds of Prey, Nightwing, Robin, and Punisher comic books for Marvel and DC. Co-creator of Bane, he's also known for everything from CrossGen to Airboy to The Expendables. Of late, his published work has cleaved the right-wing politics and polemics, including the graphic novel adaptation of Clinton Cash, Trump's Space Force, and the Vox Day comic Alt Hero. And what you should say there is Vox Day, white nationalist, and Alt Hero Q, a QAnon comic book. Ideally, he would say that. His claims that he was blacklisted from Marvel and DC over his politics have been denied. And subsequent to making those claims, he wrote a Bane series for DC. So I do appreciate that he put that. That's actually pretty great. So, like, it was one of the things that these guys all do is they act like they've been, blacklisted from the industry. It's like, oh, you got blacklisted and then you got another job for DC? Cool. That's not what blacklisting is. You're not blacklisted. And then Joe Bennett, this one's kind of shitty too. Got into trouble at Marvel, first for a scene in Immortal Hulk in which he was accused of anti-Semitism, but looked accidental. Like, it really, you can't look at that and say that it looked accidental. You can look at it and say, I feel like he probably was an accident, but like, there's nothing about the drawing itself that indicates it was an accident. It was a pawn shop window. So, but you're from the inside of the pawn shop, so it's reversed. And he claims that writing the stuff on the window reversed is what caused him to fuck it up. But it had a Star of David, and it said jewelry instead of jewelry.
Yes, and it's one of those things where it's like, in isolation, without any other context, I'd be like, oh well, that's an unfortunate fuck up. But fuck up.
But that's not the only thing he did.
Nope, it's not in isolation. None.
Otherwise, a perfect, flawless 50 issues of comic books is Immortal Hulk by Al Ewing and Joe Bennett. Has this fucking stain on it from Joe Bennett. Getting, he basically got fired, or not fired, but he got called out for, this drawing he'd done at some point in the past that was going around again of Bolsonaro on a horse, chasing away little, rat-faced little people. It's like hard not to take it a certain way whenever those things are historically have connotations, unfortunately, tied to them. And so Al Ewings came out and was like, I'm not going to work with Joe Bennett anymore. This was whenever Immortal Hulk had only a few issues left to come out. Thankfully, they were already done. But nonetheless, that has that stink on it. And that's when, I don't know if Marvel fired him, but I think they just didn't. They did choose to not let him work on the Timeless one-shot, which came out just recently, finally, and I read it. It was pretty good. But that was it. And I guess they just didn't work with him anymore after that. But he went immediately from that. He went and worked on fucking some comic for Vox Day, who's a fucking white nationalist.
Yes.
So like that lends itself to like, oh, maybe the jewelry thing wasn't an accident after all. Here we go with the cancel stuff. Fucking, what are you talking about, man?
What are you talking about? That dude has the best comments. He's very deep and thoughtful.
I did an ableism voice. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Look, man, if we got 76 people watching, if we have the ability to cancel Chuck Dixon, then he's a pretty fucking weak and fragile little guy. You know what I mean? Just wow. It's like Eric July saying I was trying to cancel him. And it's like,
I mean,
man, really?
it'd be tough to cancel these guys for this stuff since this is why they were hired for the Rippaverse. Ugh.
Yeah, they literally were hired because they were canceled, so to speak. Proving that actually canceling is a good thing for most examples that people give for being canceled. You get a second career. You get a specialized little audience of fucking loyal right wingers that are going to buy your garbage no matter what you put out because you've been canceled. Cancel culture
And
is a good thing.
just to give you a clear idea of this garbage, because I wanted to point out the difference. I already showed this variant cover of Ultimate Black Panther. There's a variant cover. Variant cover of Isom. Just
Is he trying to
seriously,
break?
like,
Is he trying to break his own back right there? I don't understand.
no, this is so fucking bizarre. Like, it looks like he's like maybe hovering off the ground and he's turned in a weird way. Like they're behind him and his back is to them. And he's like sideways to the ground too.
He looks like he's
I
trying to
don't
break his own
know.
back.
But yeah, like, what would you rather do? And listen, there was a shortage on Ultimate Black Panther, so I didn't pay cover price. I paid $15 for this. So
Wow.
I paid higher for the cover price.
Uh-huh.
Would you rather pay $15 for this or $35 for this?
And I mean, and keep in mind that 15, that's a special occasion because they happen to lose 12,000 copies.
Yep. Yeah. Normally it would just be cover price. No.
Wait, how many copies did Alpha Core sell? I feel like it was like 20, not even 20,000 maybe. So they like basically Marvel lost almost as many copies of Ultimate Black Panther #1 as was sold for.
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
I feel like it's not that much of a difference.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, like you look at covers like this and you look at the internal art of Isom, and after it was revealed that they're using lots of like 3D models to kind of do the easy way out with a lot of the art, it explains why so much the book feels like motionless. Like it was a weird quality to Isom. And yeah, it's like, oh, it's 3D models. That's what's wrong with the art.
Yep.
But yeah, this is woke garbage, guys. Don't get this. This looks awful.
Right. It's woke because it's got black people in it.
Yeah.
Wait a second. But Isom's wait.
Wait. There's no black people here.
Nope. Well, I mean, look, at least the cops are chasing them down. You know what I mean?
Oh God.
As it should be, right? No. Cancel me. Clip it and ship it. It's true. It is a dumpster fire.
And I'm fine to sleep this on screen because this is a fucking beautiful cover.
Yeah,
I
hadn't seen that.
Over how awesome it is.
You can't just dump that on the screen like without warning me, man. Fuck. That's good shit. Yeah. I don't know. Where were we? Oh yeah, talking about fucking this article.
Yeah,
we're almost done.
Horseman.
I just want to, definitely Rich Johnson is a fan of the channel. He's not at all. I don't know why I would think that, but I guess generally what I was trying to say is be more responsible with this, man. Like, he does end it on a good, more or less note in the sense of, see, he says, talking about the thing that really pissed me off is comparing what happened with what
Alpha. According to this, Alpha Car got 13,000 orders.
Does that include? Does that just copies of the comic, or is that also just like orders, including merch orders?
I'm not sure, but they just lost 12,000 copies of Ultimate Black Panther.
So if we just say that, that's if we give them benefit of the doubt, that's 13,000 copies of Isom or of Albacore. Ultimate Black Panther just fell off the truck, almost the same amount of issues, and it's still fun. They're still good. I mean, yeah, a little bit of shortage, but it just drove demand up a little bit. Maybe watch what happens next. Rippaverse is going to have some shit disappear, right? Like
they're gonna bake some shortages.
By the way, I spoke with Chris Bacon for a couple hours the other night. I recorded it. I'm not sure. I guess I should just upload the conversation to the Initio channel. That's probably the thing to do with it. Because it's just us talking, not even on camera, but he had some interesting things to say, and also feel like I learned a bit about how certain people, Ripper audience might see this stuff, but even though I still don't get it, kind of get it, or I see rather. Anyways, fucking Rich Johnson said Eric July's Rippaverse Studios line entered the culture wars itself, as previous titles got a boost with considerable coverage from Eric D. July's employer, the Blaze Network, woo, Fox News, and other right-wing media. So just going out on a fucking good note there, although you misspelled Doixon. Like I said, he's the only guy working there apparently, so whatever. Doesn't have time to spell check. But the thing that pissed me off was that he compared Joe Bennett's situation to Chuck Wendig being let go from. He was going to be working on, I think, the Old Republic novels or something like that, Star Wars, and then he just had a lot of he got into a lot of fights on the internet political arguments, and was an asshole, I guess, and Star Wars was like, we don't want that, you got here. But that's not the same thing at all as what happened with Joe Bennett, so it's weird to compare those two. Don't do that again, Rich. Okay.
No.
What do we got? Oh yeah.
Oh,
okay,
boy.
So we got some chud stuff to talk about. We do that sometimes around here.
What's a chud?
Cannibal humanoid underground dweller, right?
Oh, the movie, yes.
Yeah. No, this is a clip from look, and I really wish DJ was here for this because he's the one that pointed this out. I don't watch fucking Silverback Gorilla Man and Rippaverse guy or whatever the hell the name of their show is. It's a weird, desperate attempt at two guys who were, failing in relevance and dealing with the Chudpocalypse. Decided, hey, let's come together and do a show together, and then
aren't they called the Snowflakes?
Yeah, and that'll benefit us both. Except they're not getting very good numbers on those streams either. So, yikes. But
I bet you it started out okay because one of those guys had a viral moment, but that has subsided for him, and I'm sure he wants another one. But there are only so many drop-down menus you can yell about.
Look, okay, so the ad stuff, I am aware of what is being said and stuff, but look, this is us being fucking better people than them. I don't want to talk about that until I have more to go on. We could easily just be like, could have called the stream, as accused of some shit and look, blah, blah, blah. But like, don't want to do it. I'm going to wait and see what else comes out about it. I'm sure we'll talk about it eventually. Yeah.
This is why I love doing those, by the way. And yes, we got to get you out there, as man. MegaCon really put a lot of things into perspective, man.
So just to get out of here, Eric July has called me out, of course not by name because he's afraid to do that. He's absolutely fucking terrified to get any attention on mine or really any of our channels. But he'll talk about us just kind of like without mentioning us for sure when it's convenient for him. He called me out. He was so magnanimous because I made a bunch of phone calls, as he says here. Made a bunch of phone calls, sent a bunch of emails to MegaCon trying to get him canceled. No. I sent one email. That's it.
No, that's about right.
I can show you the email. If anybody doesn't believe, I can show you the email. What it says is not, you guys can't have Eric July on there. Literally is just saying, this is information that I feel is relevant. I happen to be in possession of several instances in which Eric talks about being violent at a convention specifically, like several times, as well as Gabe Eltabe and his stalking of Mark Brooks. Mark Brooks had to fucking get police officers to hang out by his table. And then on top of that, just the weirdness of the fact that in ISOM number 2, the violence that kind of takes place in the flashback happens at a convention.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It's almost like
that is
kind of
weird. Yeah.
But I didn't say like, I know for a fact he's going to do violence at your convention. It's like, look, just keep people safe. I don't know, I doubt he's going to do anything. Maybe it's just I'm overreacting, whatever. I'd rather put that information out to them and nothing happen than not. And then something pop off over there. And then I'm like, I should have sent this fucking information to them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. that once essentially you just pass the information on to them, and what they do with it is up to them. And they had him on there, and Eric was able to meet his fans, and okay, good for them. I'm glad there was any violence. Jesus, that would have been a disaster. But my thing would be like, Eric, if you're offended, point out the factoid in the email that was false. Otherwise, you're just getting offended by facts, and that's a you issue.
Yeah. Not sure. See, the kind of conflating MegaCon was as peaceful as can be, reaching hard right now. I mean, what am I reaching for, man?
When did we say it wasn't peaceful? I literally just said he met his fans and it was good. Like,
no, look, you see, because you're thinking about this in a really fucking silly way of like drama and internet beefs and stuff, and I'm literally thinking that I would have done the same thing with anybody if it's a friend of mine that I was like, I knew that he was like talking about going and shooting up a con or something, or he'd mentioned being violent at a convention or whatever, and then I'm like, oh, he's going to a convention this weekend. I can't stop him from going, but like I can let them know to fucking look. Like, it's literally just trying to be a fucking good civilian, man, a good citizen of society, so that in the event that they felt the need to do something, or they felt the conditions were unsafe, they could handle it however they felt they needed to. Nonetheless, Eric July going on and then saying that, I sent a bunch of phone calls or sent a bunch of emails, a bunch of phone calls trying to get him canceled. That's really downplaying what the real issue is.
I mean, I would ask people who are offended by this, give me an example in real life of a person who messed up because they had too many facts. Because that's all. These are just facts about things he's done, things he's said.
Can you say something substantive, man? What am I taking and stretching out of context here? What am I taking out of context? You're just fucking being defensive because you're the woke breaker, and you which whatever the fuck that means. That's a nonsensical, stupid statement.
Actually, if you're
Rip-a-verse goalposts. Hey man,
Hey.
you're look, welcome, because I am actually gonna admit that I was wrong. If you sit around, you're gonna have a beautiful clip that you can upload here in just a minute. So stick around, man. This is for you, okay?
Rip-a-verse goalposts.
You know what I mean? For me, obviously, this isn't my first con. It's the first one that the Rippaverse had like this big presence at like that. But holy shit, man, it's so important for people to do, because look, man, a lot of this, As broke it down about as good as someone could break it down. What social media is, what tends to trend, what people tend to gravitate towards, and it's not representative of the real world.
No,
not even close, to be completely honest.
No.
Like people that it's funny after the con, and I had a bunch of people ask the same question. Hey man, did you guys have any problems with any like weird like haters come? No. Why would we? That shit's not real. It's contained to a certain space, yes, but it's not representative of the of real life. It's not.
Shame.
The social media shit's not real. It's not. And that may hurt some people's feelings because they want to believe this is what it is. I mean, we've dealt with this every fucking campaign with the Rippaverse, right? It's got to fail at some point, they say, right? Which maybe it will at some point.
Maybe book 17.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot sooner than 17, buddies, but okay, dream on.
Potentially. Maybe at some point it will. Maybe at some point it will. But it's this hope, it's this wish, it's desire. Guys, that's not a way to live.
Okay, so here's where it is. Hold on. I got a really important thing to say here. Okay, and this is for Rippaverse Goalpost, which is actually just Eric July and or his wife. We all know that. Everybody knows that now. Okay, you might as well just come clean on that.
I believe it's not. Wink.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong to take that seriously. Any of those things that you had said, Eric July, about carrying a gun to conventions. I was wrong to think that you're talking about threatening people, which you've done a few times, specifically about conventions. I was wrong to think that that was sincere, because as you just admitted in this clip that we just watched, nothing you say is real. The times that you threatened Bob, in fact, Organized Chaos, when you threatened him, After your debate, you did a lot of the threatening whenever you wasn't around anymore. That was all just performance. You're not a real tough guy. You're a fucking little bitch. Okay. You're not gonna fight anybody. You're not gonna fucking stand up to anybody. You don't fucking carry a gun. You probably never fucking shot a gun, dude. Like we saw that old clip where you're hanging out in your old hood, which is really just like a upper, middle class suburban area. You know what I mean? Everything about you is cultivated and it's a narrative. It's all bullshit. You are not a real person. Everything that you just said, it's all fake. You're fake. Okay? So I do apologize for taking you seriously at all in any way, shape, or form with anything that you've said, because that was a mistake. And I should have known better, because I've just disproven several claims you've made and debunked several things that you've said or whatever over and over and over again, many, many times. And the only thing you can do is send your fucking sock account to talk shit, to clip us out of context and actually make us look pretty awesome usually. But yeah, you're not a real person.
I disagree with one thing you said. Make us look pretty awesome. Usually, you pretty much make us look awesome always.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've summed up a lot. God damn it! I wanted to ask Woke Breaker to define woke. What was he going to break?
I can admit when I'm wrong. That's all I'm saying. Like goalposts, you're right. I was wrong.
That sounds brutal, nerd tube. That does not sound comfortable.
Also, goalposts, I don't know if you're still around, but like, is this true? Because I heard this is true.
I know what Glenn Beck's butthole looks like.
Seems true.
Listen, they can't admit that, but yes.
Look, man, they can give me all of the fucking engagement they want, because this is the thing that the reason that he doesn't like to mention me on his own channel, I know the same fucking secret that they know, that they act on all the time, which is that any engagement is engagement, and any engagement is good for me. They think that they're the only ones that have that fucking shit figured out, and nope. Every single time that they come and mass downvote videos, because they do it on a regular basis, anytime that they show up to just talk a bunch of shit in comments, they feel like they have some kind of power. They feel like they're telling me something. Like they're gonna, one of these days we're gonna get them. You know what I mean? We're gonna convince them to give it up, throw in the towel. I know the magic, combination of words to say to make him quit or whatever the fuck. And all it's doing is making me fucking stronger. Thank you. Yeah, Daddy Glenn. Did you see that? You saw that new one, right? The new rip-off verse?
Yes.
Holy shit.
It was a good origin story to where that video came from.
Woke Breaker rocks on Thor's new axe. It's not. I mean, it's not my show. It's our show. But I mean, I think Bob understands that fact as well.
Oh yeah.
About engagement. Like, we kind of have to. You don't do this and just think that you're not going to get pushback. You have to kind of understand that the nature of the game you're playing. Otherwise, you shouldn't really be doing it. No, I mean, he also plays a character. Eric July plays a character of someone who knows about comic books, for instance.
Yeah.
Like, has he read Amazing Fantasy number 15? Has he figured out what that is yet? I mean,
has
have
he
you
looked it
figured
up?
that?
Has he at least seen 2002 Spider-Man and got the Cliff Notes version?
Or is he still just like,
I don't understand it?
No, but I mean, I'm glad you admit it too. It's not the real him. None of the shit he's saying. The Eric July, the comic book expert, not a real guy. Okay. That's why he refused whenever I challenged him to have a quiz or some type of contest to see who knows more about comic book canon. He refused. He was like, no, unless I get to monetize my haters, then I'm, but he doesn't even want to do that anymore. Why did he bitch out with Ethan Van Sciver, by the way? Why did he bitch out of that debate? That's weird. Because he's the kind of guy that, like, anytime
he's usually all for debates.
when he challenges people to debates and they're like, "Oh, I can't do it right now. Maybe in a couple hours," he'll be like, "Oh, yeah, see, you fucking," like that's how he's always operated. But then suddenly, when Ethan Van Sciver wants to talk to him, and he was going to get home field advantage on his employer, Blaze TV's Golden Child, Alex Stein's show. Why did he? Are you talking about that on your account? Or are you just, no? Doesn't make him look too good, does it? Yeah. By the way, Rip Reverse Goalposts, anytime you want to come on and prove that you're not Eric July, please do. Do you want what's your email? Is it just Rip Reverse Goalposts at ripaverse.com or what?
Please come on and talk. Prove that you are a real person. Prove that you're a real boy.
I know. He's fucking hype man admits he's fake, if you can believe it. Yeah, he's a fake tough guy. He's a fake tall guy too. Like he said he was like 5'10" or whatever. He's like 4'9". You
He
believe
said
that
he
shit?
was 6 foot after I said I was 5'11".
Oh man, I love it. I love that the goalpost shows up. It's like, I don't know. It's almost like reverse Watcher in a way. The Watcher shows up when something like major is happening, or it's like the satirical Watcher. It's like goalpost shows up whenever it's like he's letting us know you guys are doing a little bit too good a criticism of right now. I got to try and distract you.
God.
No, Whitman is not my last name. I've never said that it was, but that's not the same thing as like, this is who I am, dude. Like, you can fucking ask my girlfriend. You can ask these guys when I'm off stream or whatever. I'm just who I am. I'm not going to sit up here and like threaten to fucking fight a bunch of people on the internet like a goddamn moron because it's,
Well, I mean, that's how you know you win a debate, when you're willing to fight them, because you definitely won on the ideas then.
You can't see goalposts?
Aww.
I mean, what channel is he on anyway? Because I thought I'd blocked him from all the channels, but I guess you got one more I got to hit.
I thought he was blocked on mine, but it does make me wonder, who is he?
Did you unblock him? He's probably on
I didn't
DJs
unblock him.
or the Initiative or Turfs, I guess. Rip Verse Goalpost is really just Eric July. Hey,
Well,
you can't
Woke
prove
Breaker
otherwise.
was here, but not Ripaverse. No,
that's all right. He's on. Well, he was on Eric's.
Oh,
what about that
no.
one commenter a while back and the comments about his family? We got to be fair. I mean, yeah, I was pretty obviously talking shit cartoonishly. So, like, I mean, that's the thing is I'm not going to talk shit in a way that could be construed as realistic. When I said that I was going to like, what did I say? I was going to fuck his family or something. It's like, I was not actually threatening to have sex with this person's family.
Well, I thought you were offering to take him out to dinner, show him a good date,
Well, I mean, if it was going to happen, that's how it would go down. Yes. Oh yeah, he was in the DP chat, huh? I didn't know they've been covering Eric July that long. But
man, everybody's covering Eric July.
He's a fucking law cow. Like imagine being Ripaverse Goalpost now at this point.
Yeah.
When like the only people that fucking take him or Eric July seriously are like the most loyal fucking pay pigs. And then at the same time, you got somebody like Chris Bacon, who was his most, like, he supported him financially, and with a lot of money. He was actually part of that whole Ultramac club or whatever the fuck.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was giving him a lot of money. He liked him. He thought what he was saying politically was cool and stuff. And then he got to know more about him, talked to him, met him in real life. And by the way, he said that Eric July is a completely different guy when you meet him, like just one-on-one in real life. Like he's just a regular guy. So it just goes to show that how much of a performance he's probably doing like almost every time you see him on the internet. Goalpost is getting paid in Isom comics. Holy shit.
Oh God, no. So much 3D art.
My God, man. My God. What else we got? Well, now that fucker's done distracting us. Well, we have Madam Web is a thing.
Oh yes. Well,
We
I
also
haven't
haven't.
seen it yet. Mm.
I'd hope that Perp would want to come on and review it for us really quick, but that's okay. Let's see. I mean, we don't have to get through all this today because there's some stuff that we'll probably need for tomorrow for the Turf show, Turf edition. Well, we can talk about Wicked.
Sure, I'm sure. I've seen some Chud reaction to it, which is really baffling.
Well, let's talk about let's look at yeah, let's look at that. And we're gonna do that on Saltier Than Crate.
Which is
the good one.
Awesome.
The good one. Yeah. Because there's a good one and a bad one. You know?
Oh. Well, do the good one, not the bad one.
Right. Wow, this post has been removed apparently. Okay. So this is just some chuds talking about the race swapping of a green character, apparently.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's Cynthia Ernvo. So, I'm slaughtering her name, I'm sure, but she's a pretty damn good actress. If you have not seen Bad Times at the El Royale, check it out. It's an awesome movie. But she's the star.
Have I talked about it? Let me tell you, buddy. Have I talked about it? I've got probably close to 2 hours total of talking about it. It's from 2020. One of my earliest video essays. Punisher Police Problem. I've actually got two different versions. I've got the part 1 and 2, the original, and then later on in that summer, I made a condensed version that was like, just down to brass tacks, not as much Punisher stuff, more police stuff. Yeah, got the approval of fucking name is slipping my mind right now. Creator of Punisher, Jerry Conway.
Oh yes, okay.
Yes, got his approval on my videos, so he knows that I get it. And yeah. So she's a good actress. What is she playing?
Bad Times at the El Royale is what I know her from.
Oh yeah, it was an okay movie.
I thought it was pretty damn good.
Kind of reminded me of stuff like, there's like a type of movie that was coming out in the early 2000s.
Yes, it was very reminiscent of that type of thing.
Like what was it called? The one with Piven as the magician, and Ryan Reynolds was in it. And it's like, forget the name.
I'm not sure where you're going, but yeah, yeah, kind of. It's definitely an ensemble piece where all the stories are disconnected and they come together. I cannot think of a specific example, but yeah, there's tons of movies, especially in the 90s, aughts, like that.
And like these people are talking about in here, these fine folks of Salty and Great. Since when do they give a shit about musicals? And it's like, it just goes to show there's this Little Mermaid, so many examples now that they use to that can be used to show that they will just grab onto whatever they possibly can. Smoking Aces, that's the one. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I remember when that came out. I did not see it, but yes, that was fairly popular.
It's one of those ones. It's like the editing is like a fucking chimpanzee on meth and LSD edited it, but it's still pretty fun. So what I would just, it does kind of get frustrating sometimes reading through some comments of this stuff, because it's like the thing that I really tried to convey more than anything with my content is these people that are like, oh, they feel this compulsive need, and it's like, no, they feel this need to make money.
Yeah,
and they know people will react to it, and I just wish people would stop reacting to it as if they're sincere, and just kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they blew up over Little Mermaid. They're blowing up over freaking Snow White. Like, these are middle-aged men. These are movies that aren't made for them remotely, but they're blowing up. Why? because it gets the clicks. You know, and when it comes to Disney remakes, God forbid they actually address the issues with Disney live action remakes and how they're just soulless fucking cash grab movies for the most part. No, we're just gonna get upset because person's skin wrong color for this version. Like,
Yeah,
it blows my mind.
it blows. That's for sure.
Yes, it definitely blows. Let's see, we can get outraged about this and use that outrage to actually target some serious issues with Disney and how they make soulless movies. No, we'll just do racism. Fuck it.
Yep. Let's see what did Nerdrotic say about it.
I am Gary Nerderotic and I used to sell methamphetamine to kids. But now I sell false narratives based on bigotry. Funded by sinister dark money. All by using nerdy things like Marvel and Star Wars. Honestly, the meth was probably overall less harmful to society.
Very candid moment from Nerdrotic.
Wow. Yeah.
Or as I'm going to call him from now on, Nerd Erotic.
Yeah.
Gross. And then some insightful commentary once again from RK Outpost.
I eat farts yummy.
He's such a thoughtful dude.
As always, he's got the best takes. So Aubrey Fletcher says, when it comes to Eric July, sorry that I'm late to the party. Better late than never. He is a straight up grifter. Yeah. I mean, look, his sock account just admitted it a little while ago. Yeah, how can I be a white nationalist when I wear Ripadoose? What else we got? I guess that's really, generally all she wrote for today. I thought we had more stuff, but I guess I did save some of it for tomorrow.
Yeah, there'll be some stuff tomorrow for you and Turf to go over.
Was there anything that you wanted to be sure to hit today? Because I don't think you're going to be on tomorrow. I think what we're going to do tomorrow, right, is me and Turf will be on earlier in the day, and then we will, I think, kick it right over to you.
I don't know if you'll be on that long because I won't be on until 4. I'm not sure when you guys are going to be on, but yeah, I will. I have a whole bunch of comics to cover, and
well, I mean, whatever time you're on, we will try to start a couple hours before that, just so we can do that. I mean, that's what I would like to do, is just to keep it going. That's just me. Unless you think, would you rather us give people a break? Do you think that's better for your stream? We can talk about off stream. Actually,
I don't know. I think it's probably better if you kick it over.
Okay.
But yeah.
So there's Mr. TARDIS recently has a video where conservatives furious at the Black Doctor Who, and it's just like, man, they're so fucking mask off now. It's ridiculous.
This was something I was considering doing. I'm not saying I will, but I'm considering it.
What is it? What? Sorry. We've talked about for probably almost since the start of the initiative. We've had the idea of doing a stream where we watch a video criticizing each one of us. The only inherent problem with that is that we don't want to give anybody a boost. I think with that guy in particular, I think he's kind of somewhat larger than us anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But
he's on the smaller side, but I think that video's got like 100K at this point, so that video is not on the smaller side. Damn.
Yeah.
Getting a rag shout out must be pretty valuable.
Yeah, I guess so. It really, it seems like that's just the thing to do if you want to get some easy views, is get a rags bump, right?
I don't know. Kill yourself. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't care.
Cool
Classy
guy.
Dude. He's a classy dude.
He's a fucking cool guy. By the way, so I took a screenshot. I went to anybody that hasn't seen. Maybe we'll play a little bit of this as we leave or something. If you haven't seen it, I really, 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 really think you should watch it. The video, it's on my channel. We need to. I got an idea, by the way, Bob. If you remind me for a video that I think we could do that would be good initiative project. I'll tell you later. But like, guys, the Fandom Menace chuds, the Friday Night Tights chuds, they are working with InfoWars. Okay, it's just they are. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yes.
Where do I get these memes from? From my imagination. Yeah, I mean, I made the little AI things. I made those. Well, I mean, AI made them. I pressed buttons, and a computer algorithm stole content from some creators and put it
Oh my
together
god.
and put it out, and there you go. And now I'm profiting greatly from it on my channel that's not monetized. No. I mean, there's a lot of memes that I get memes from wherever I find them, and then sometimes if there's not one that I think about, I make it happen. So, yeah, the Alex Jones thing is fucked up because, like, I realized that he's banned from YouTube, but like essentially he can now be on YouTube because he's got people that do what is happening. He can still get the message he wants out on YouTube, and that sucks.
What weren't you saying? Mr. TARDIS was doing something?
Yeah, but I realized that I didn't actually clip from that. Yeah, he does have a video game on Steam. That's kind of part of the whole thing that we looked at. But I forgot about this part that we're gonna do. The Human Shutipede.
Yeah.
Let's look at that. Did I download that video? Or man, I'm not prepared. My brain is failing now. Holy shit.
My brain's a little Swiss cheese too. I think it's from all the working and driving.
Probably so. Oh yeah. Well, we ain't gotta. We don't have to hang around
Pretty
long.
picture.
This won't take too long to address once I find the damn video and get it in here. That's not it. That's not it. Okay. So tomorrow, by the way, I think what we're gonna do is probably look at. I think we're gonna look at some Midnight's Edge.
Oh yeah.
They've been right there. We've been aware of them. We just haven't covered them because they don't often get like a lot of the spotlight because their takes, as we're gonna look at tomorrow, kind of different than. I mean, they're not different, but they're kind of different.
Yeah, they cultivate their takes much more carefully.
And a good way to kind of determine like what it is that they do, you can look at the super chats that they get, for example. So here, unrelated to that, is this. This is Disney derangement syndrome, guys. Like, I don't like using that derangement syndrome thing or whatever, but like, this is what this is.
I saw this, yeah.
This person just so quick to like, oh, another Disney. Oh no, shit. Delete, edit. Yeah, fucking fix that, right?
And what I think is it's because it's superhero, it's no longer woke. Why? Yeah.
Well, there's a woman right there, Bob. Come on, like you're not new to this, Bob. It's just because there's a woman.
Well, no. The first one says another Disney woke flop, and the second one just says another superhero flop. So apparently, it's not woke anymore.
Well, because Disney is the woke thing.
Oh, Disney's the woke thing. Okay.
Let's be real, man. Like these guys are going really hard on Disney, and it's not even subtle. Like the chuds have been, they've just for a couple of years now straight, they've really zeroed in on fucking Disney, and it just so happened to coincide almost with with the DeSantis thing and the "Don't Say Gay" and all that, and like it's weird. It's kind of weird.
Well, I mean, they could really hone in on Marvel, scream about how every Marvel project is woke, and what's great is that they were releasing lots of Marvel projects, and this year, well, maybe people don't know Madam Web isn't Marvel. I mean, it's Marvel, but Not really.
It's not really. Yeah, like Kevin Feige's over there, like I don't, I don't know them. So here
I
is
hope this dies.
following up on that video from that I uploaded yesterday in our stream last week. Because we said in the stream that like Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers and stuff like that, the typical Fandom Menace Friday Night Tights guys. But like when you look at who all is tagged in here, and all of these are people that their content is used in these Nerd Wars quote unquote documentaries. You kind of have to wonder if all of them have given permission.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, PewDiePie. Who knows? I mean, other than PewDiePie, and then like, what else? There's one other one that I was like, really? Oh, Red Letter Media. That's interesting. I haven't got. I'm gonna have to watch the fucking documentary, aren't I? God damn it! They're definitely using Red Letter Media disingenuously if they actually are using a clip of theirs.
Yeah.
They've never fucking said anything unless they were like being sarcastic or whatever. Like they've never said anything like woke is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But you
I
do have
don't think I've
EFAT.
ever heard them say the word woke.
That's true, but also it's using quite a bit of their clips. Like it's basically his channel's made of it, and yeah. EFAT, drunk 3PO, all the fucking chuds, man. They're all right there. Anyway. So just real quick as a teaser for the Midnight's Edge thing, I've got some of their and like hold on. What is this? Really? It's like what it is? It's like the Fandom Menace made a fake movie to kind of like represent the wokeness that they think is such a big deal, right? I don't know. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. Okay, so here we go. Some super chats from this Midnight's Edge stream that we'll be checking out tomorrow.
Ooh.
Not to be pedantic, but wokeism can't be abandoned. It has to be repulsed. Fortunately, gravity is doing a lot of the work for us there, figuratively. Yeah, and this is Marvel's Jesus, Gender Bent Oz, more Super Bowl. Yeah. And it's like it's kind of interesting because a lot of the comments, the chat stuff are the same as you'll see on like Geeks and Gamers or something, except it's like these commenters actually got a high school diploma. That's kind of the difference.
Yes.
DEI will not die until after the courts declare it all racist and start handing out huge fines. $5 for that one. $9.99. Remember BlackRock said they were going to force behaviors? What force is capital? Like the force? Film for totalitarian countries becomes a state propaganda machine. I don't see a difference happening here. Real art will become clandestine. Except the art that they're typically calling like woke and blah blah blah. It's like it's Disney. It's fucking globally marketed shit. So it's not like a state propaganda thing. It's just it doesn't make any sense. If only these people could just like explain what wokeism is.
Yeah. Just a definition, please.
This is stupid for a couple. Do they think that Verhoeven hates the source material? If they like, I mean, I guess he probably didn't like the purpose of the original Starship Troopers because it's literally fascist shit. But like, other than that, I don't think he's hated the source material of stuff that he's done.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever said he hated the source material as much as he had a very unique spin to put on it. And
no, he's flat out said that he like. I mean, because it's if you look into any the way he came out of I forget, was it World War II? Basically, he saw a lot of he was a little kid coming out of where's he from? I forget. But basically, that's why he's so he's very anti-fascist. We'll say that. Could Deadpool's success, and this one's crazy, could Deadpool's success be embarrassing for Iger Or will he just be happy with money to alleviate some of the debt he and Feige are responsible for?
Why would Deadpool's success be embarrassing to him? What the fuck logic? Oh my god.
Like, yeah, the movie that his company is putting out is going to be embarrassing for him somehow. And or
if it's successful, I mean,
does he think that like Disney and Marvel especially are in like a massive amount of debt? Does it like what? Doesn't fucking make any sense. Do they think that like a couple of movies that haven't done as well as other movies means that they're just in fucking crippling debt now?
Yeah.
The Marvels flop, so they're on their last leg. They're on fucking life support now.
How many times I have to remind them that like Avatar 2 was a Disney movie? Like that's not a bomb.
I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less. I don't, no, apparently that's just a bad understanding of that phrase that's going to exist forever. I could care less. Well, apparently, actually, you could care less, because if you couldn't care less, you wouldn't make this comment. You wouldn't spend $5 to say it, but you could care less, so you did spend $5. Oh,
so you do care. So you.
I don't like thinking this, but Marvel stabbed the fandom in the back for a long time. Now my back's good, bro. Like back's been pretty well padded and massaged and oiled and stuff. It's all right. Anyways, there you go. What about you, Bob? What about Bob? What's going on?
Yeah. Well, interested to see what you guys think of Midnight's Edge when you cover them, because they're fun.
Jarbo was telling me. Sorry,
I was gonna say I remember covering them more recently, and like the first half of the video was just like shit he pulled from like a book, and it was like informative and interesting, and then the second half was just pure Kathleen Kennedy's destroying movies. Pretty much, it was like, oh my god.
Jarbo was telling me one time, apparently, and I'd love to find this if anybody knows what video this is or if it's still around, but like I think he might have said they took it down or whatever. But there was Doomcock was on an episode one time of Midnight's Edge, which is like, that's wow, okay. Because like otherwise I would think of them as ones trying to maintain some sense of seeming like a sincere thing compared to the other shows. But no, you get Doomcock on your show, then you're essentially just branding yourself. But then like apparently they were doing some kind of what was it, remote viewing into Kathleen Kennedy's office.
What?
Like psychic type remote viewing, and like describe it. Like, I don't know, that's what Jarbo told me. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I need to see this. This is fucking like
is
how
insane.
Desperate for content were they? Oh my god. All right. Well, hey, he remembers. That was one of my first big successes, I'll be honest. Like I made that video, and my goal was anybody that sees this video, I don't ever want them to see Doomcock as anything but a guy with a fucking toilet on his head. And so far I think it's worked. All right. Well, tune in tomorrow, folks. You'll be me and Turf. Yes. Maybe DJ will be able to join us. Maybe, who knows? We're kind of inviting folks on. And next week, by the way, we're going to have Chariot will be on. If you're not subscribed to them, their link is in the old description box down there. That should be fun. They've got a lot of insight. Oh my God, dogs are barking. Stop it. And then, yeah, on the way out, I'm just going to play. Look, this is 10 minutes long. I'll go ahead and say goodbye to you guys and play this just because I really want you to know this information, even if you don't give me the views over on the actual video. Please stick around for this. And yeah, learn this important shit. Bob, you the man.
Hey, you are the man.
I am a man. Yeah. All right. Peace.
Welcome to every video we make. We use one little thing and then we build the narrative out of it.
Other people besides white dudes like Star Wars. I'm just saying, we need to be conscious of our bias
I talked about this one thing and we make a whole video out of it. That's what we do.
I have been a fan of yours for a long, long time. Following you, I kind of thought you were the expert in all conspiracies, and it was, if anything, it was entertaining. I always found it entertaining.
Exactly. It's not so entertaining now that it all came true.
No.
No.
Dang it.
It was supposed to be fiction.
Story time. I encountered a channel the other day, and they have some documentaries. Quote documentaries. They also have some smaller videos that are like 10, 12 minutes or whatever. And it's called Nerd Wars. All caps, one word. And I was like, well, that's interesting because that's kind of stylized exactly the way that like InfoWars is done. You know,
One thing
like,
I want to say is that this is only an 18K channel. This is not a channel I normally want to talk about, but there's greater context. There's
and also these, so when you look at the views, the accounts that they get, so like on the regular videos, the more 10, 12-minute videos, they're not getting shit. They're like not doing any better than like some of our videos, right? But then they put out like once a month, there's this documentaries. It's like they're an hour to 3 hours long sometimes, and it's all about, you know, the nerds fighting wokeness and stuff. And what it really is not a documentary. It's just a bunch of clips from all the, you know, the Chud channels, the ones that you'd expect, the ones we often talk about. And it's just compiled into you know, several hours of propaganda about Marxism and, you know, wokeness, and all the nerds have had it and all this stuff. And it's like, those are getting hundreds of thousands of views. And I wouldn't have, you know, I wouldn't have even really thought long about it, except for I noticed one of the thumbnails of one of them, their most recent one, I think, it's just like a very specific thumbnail, and it stuck out to me. And I was like, why do I know that image? The Nerd War on Woke, the Nerd Wars documentary. And I'm like, wow, that's the style of it and everything. You know, it's something about it. And I couldn't think of what it was. And then finally, I did think of what it is. And it just dawned on me that there was a tweet from, let's see, August 2022. Okay, I'm back momentarily. Bob, I don't know if you want to jump in on this real quick, because I don't know if Chris Pruitt actually thinks that you think that.
Oh wait, what?
This comment here? I don't think you understand business, Bob. Every company has different departments. They need to earn more than they have expenses. Avatar may still be Disney, but Marvel Studios did not make Avatar. What?
Okay, but it's all the same parent company, dude. And it's franchise film. Like, Disney is a giant fucking branding franchise. You understand that, right? Like,
and even if we're talking about just Marvel, okay,
yeah,
which we know Avatar's not part of. We know that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know where the fuck you got that. Marvel is not hurting for money.
No.
They've made more money than fucking God before they had a couple of movies not do as well as they maybe expected, and then one movie actually bomb. They're doing okay. They're fine. They're good.
I mean, what's the most successful movie without Avatar in the title?
These things are true, Chris Pruitt, but none of this is relevant to what we're talking about. Marvel's not going to be fucking canceled because the Marvels didn't do well or whatever. Like,
dude, like Marvel is still their most successful section, dude. They are not.
Yep.
They would be insane to kill Marvel. Jesus, there's times when Marvel carried them. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, even while they're doing live action remakes of their fucking old cartoons that aren't doing so hot, Marvel's been making them fucking Skrilla.
Like, I mean,
I don't know, man.
they are more likely to shit can Star Wars before Marvel. They're not gonna shit can Star Wars.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's yeah, sorry, I just saw that. I was like, wow, how did I miss that comment? And felt the need to address that, because I guess this guy's just like thinks he's making some point that matters. Yeah. Okay. That's all. Back to being gone now. We're not here. Pretend we don't exist.
Yeah,
Bye.
no, we're gone, guys.
Bye.
We're gone.
By Chrissy Mayer.
Someone who is famously not racist.
Not racist.
Didn't they? The NFL said that they would play the Black national anthem before the regular national anthem, and I was like, "What even is the Black national anthem? Is it just sirens? Like what?"
Is Black?
Chrissy, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell at before you blow up a plane.
But she has hosted the InfoWars channel before. So whenever I thought of it, I was like, oh my God, because she says, my friends are in an InfoWars documentary about nerds fighting the woke culture takeover. And she tags all the chuds, right? And then there's a link there. I remember going to that link back then, and I didn't watch it or anything, but I was like, oh God, okay, whatever. And I made note, I guess. It's tucked it away in my fucking brain hole somewhere because it remembered. That like, oh, they're doing something for, like, they must have recorded, in my mind, I was thinking how, like, me and Bob and Turf recorded interviews for that Brad Fay for his documentary thing. That was what I was thinking generally happened here, right? That, like, InfoWars had reached out to these chuds and said, hey, you want to fucking do you want to eat some ass and do some interviews for, whatever.
I'll eat your ass. I will.
But no, it seems like something more substantial has happened.
Mm-hmm. We did some digging last night.
We did a little bit of work. A little bit of work.
All right. So in the link that she posted to that video, that's a dead link now.
Yeah.
Don't go nowhere. But the internet never forgets. And so we popped it in the old Internet Archive, and it took us to this channel here on the InfoWar TV. And it links to Erwin, who doesn't have a last name available, but he has 2 YouTube channels. And he is as far as we can tell, from what you found the other day, was a employee of InfoWar in some capacity. Is that correct, Dane?
Yeah, so I've got a video that we could look at if we wanted to, just to kind of get an idea. But like, Erwin is not a chud that you've seen before, probably, because I haven't, and I feel like if I had, then somebody else would have. But he's seems exclusive to this channel, and yet he has access to all of these clips from all of these guys, which to me, I don't think that these guys would not allow a channel, just some random channel, to use so much of their content and then get ad revenue off of it. Unless they, explicitly, endorsed and even worked hand in hand with him to make it happen. So, like, I mean, look, I'm not going to fucking bury the lead any further. The Fandom Menace chuds are working with InfoWars.
Well, and, so I want to show some logos here. Here's the InfoWars logo, and here's the Nerd Wars logo that has the weird formatting. It's not quite the same, but there's enough of a similarity. And here is Erwin's other channels. And you mentioned Alex Jones working with the Fandom Menace group that gets together on that stream.
Yeah.
What were the dates they were on?
I'd have to look them up, but it was basically like one was August or September 2021, and then the next one was on their 200th episode in like June of 2022, and right after that was whenever this channel popped up.
Here's this channel, the 19th of 2022, and their second channel the day before, this Nerd Wars channel.
So, and then they don't advertise this, and I wonder why, because, especially nowadays, Alex Jones maybe has a little bit of stink on his fucking reputation, and they're trying to,
and he owes a lot of money,
and they're trying to pull in people who are not suspecting, right? Like unsuspecting, probably young people, preferably for them. But like now that Alex Jones is kind of universally known as just one of the biggest scumbags in fucking modern history, because he for years pushed a conspiracy theory that children that had been murdered were not actually murdered, and that they was all a fucking it's all false flag designed to get our guns or whatever. Because he's a piece of shit.
He does know something about false flags, because here we are, he pulls this from his channel, right? It goes away into the void. But then, would you look at that? There it is, right here on the middle row. Boy, those look really familiar.
Like we talked about for a minute, like maybe we shouldn't talk about him because like maybe that would just get him promotion or whatever. But then it was like, but they seem to be to some degree trying not to let it be known that they're connected to InfoWars. So that probably means we should talk about it, right? Because if they don't want it, then that's fucking it's good for bad.
They
for them.
obviously have InfoWars sunglasses on, I believe.
Yeah, and he so in that video, he's wearing it in several videos. Okay,
Yeah, he wears it in several videos.
I don't think it has to sound like conspiratorial either. Like we see Alex Jones like meet up with him, and it's like they all share the same thing. So it's a very simple like Alex. Oh yeah, I'll help you guys out. I'll give you guys this. I'll give you that. It's like it makes sense. It's not like it's like this shady underground thing.
Right. Yeah. It's you scratch my back, I scratch yours. It's a tale as old as time.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It just is the thing that it looks like.
I mean, let's face it, this guy apparently gave a positive review to an Alex Jones video game, which means you have to be shilling for Alex Jones at that point.
I will eat your ass.
These other chuds, even as far as I know, none of the other ones fucking covered the Alex Jones video game.
I will eat your ass first.
I know you got to get running, so we don't want to keep you long, but you're welcome back. I mean, it's Gary's been. It took balls for Gary to have this on his channel. It did, and I'm gonna say this before you leave, because I'll probably never get a chance to say this again at this moment. I'll text you later, Alex. I just had to say that.
You guys don't need to clout chase. This ain't clout. This is fame. Yeah. You guys are kicking ass. Listen, please come on my show. Come to Texas if you want. And I do want to get you guys on the next week or two. We can come on and do like 2-hour roundtable talk if you guys
have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex.
I built like a goddamn brick.